And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report here on Football Friday. It's Barnes, it's Tony, and it's Carlton. What's going on, man? Been a little bit.
Yeah, man. How you doing? Good to be here.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Good to have you here. We're just talking pre-show about, your teams and everything. And obviously I know you're riled about the Eagles. And I just happened to think of this, when we were talking about this. What's your thoughts on, them resting everybody, but specifically Saquon not going for the record? Did you want to see him try to get the record, or you think it's the right way to go?
I think it's the right way to go. I think you got to be looking all the way down, to the future and the playoffs. I think I get it, but like, how could you risk it? Like, as a fan, I've been nervous like all season that, he could get hurt or who knows, right?
Yeah.
So like, I was like, yeah, don't play. That's fine with me. Like, I don't need that. I think it's more for him, How would he feel about, like, is he really making that call? Are they telling him? Like, how high does it go? Right up? Like, is it the GM being like, no, you're not playing?
Yeah. And I was saying this to Tony yesterday. He strikes me as a guy that actually would be telling them, even if they wanted him to get it, no, don't play him. He just seems like a team first guy. And I think he's so appreciative too, because it was just such a mess with the Giants, his last couple of years. So it's like, to have a team that he feels like could win a Super Bowl, I feel like he just wants to do everything in his power to give them that best shot to do so.
Yeah, and then that also
Good, Tony.
Point about the Giants, like, where was he at the end of that? Right? What was the effort and the culture? I think I saw a headline where like they underestimated his leadership in the locker room, and now he comes on the Philly and then he's killing it. So it's like,
talk about Philly. They had a locker room issue last season, right? Like,
when they
the whole,
collapsed.
like AJ Brown, like Hurts, like not listening to Sirianni, doing their own thing, like, and then now here comes Saquon Barkley, and like you said, like even on the microphone, like pre and post games, he's just cool, he's calm, he's very straightforward and like a humble guy, and seems like he was a big reason why this locker room was able to come back together. So it's crazy, dude.
And then didn't they have something a few weeks ago about some of the guys like posted on social where it was one of the receivers, right? He's
I think
like, no, we're
Devonta
good.
Smith.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, AJ Brown, because I think his thing had gone back with Hurts to last year, and he was saying that they're good.
They're like, no, we're good. We're good.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That's right.
And but I don't know. And also like, where is Sirianni in this? You had that massive collapse last year where they totally bailed out of everything. And now this year they're firing all the way. What's that change?
Again, it seemed like they squashed their beef, but I don't know, because it was almost like Sirianni's job was almost in question after last season.
Yeah,
No,
it seemed like it was just like a given that at some point this year, most likely that he'd be fired, and you just felt, the second half collapse would carry over. But that I think the team, like, they were just taking it to a whole nother level. Like, we have these talented receivers, but then we have a running back who can get 6 yards a carry, and it just changes the way defenses had to game plan for you, and that's why they've had so much success.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. So, I guess maybe it's a loaded question for Carlton, but you think they're taking the Super Bowl, or?
I think it's a loaded field. It's crazy.
Yeah,
right?
it
If
really
you
is
think about
ridiculous.
Detroit and Minnesota and the Birds,
Throw Kansas City in there.
right? And then then
Bills.
the Bills. I was just talking NFC.
Oh,
right?
yeah. True, yeah.
Just even forget
Just
it.
get there,
Just
yeah.
even getting there and winning.
Yeah, Green Bay.
And it was tough because they're out of the 1 seed, right? So they'd have to go to wherever.
Yeah.
They'd have to go to a dome on the road if they made it to the NFC Championship. Either way,
Right.
And I think it's interesting that that's the only like viable game this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
Like, how does the NFL feel about that?
Yeah.
I know, right? Probably
Yeah.
not good.
Everybody's
dude,
on the
yeah.
bench, and then there's one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like really the other games. I mean, I guess the Steelers Bengals game is okay.
They're both playing for something, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah,
Yeah,
because the Steelers with
Sure.
the seeding, and then the
But
Bengals
still-
want to get in, and then the other games are all teams like the Bucks and the Falcons playing lesser teams.
Mm-hmm.
They need to win to get in, or the Dolphins.
They need
playing
help.
The Jets.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So.
Yeah.
And
the Dolphins.
I mean, I guess actually what would be interesting, it's just not likely, but let's say either Minnesota or the Lions, they get the number 1 seed, but then get bounced before the NFC Championship game, then the Eagles would host that game, which is actually kind of
That's
crazy.
right,
'cause
yeah.
One of those teams is going to get screwed and be the 5 seed and have no home games, which is just really not
Yeah.
right, but I guess they don't want to take away the importance of winning the division, so I don't think they'll ever do it where, you're just in, but you could be the last seed winning a division. I guess they don't want to do that because they want you to prioritize winning the division for whatever reason. So it doesn't seem like that's going to change anytime soon, even though, I mean, let's be real. I mean, that would be the fairest thing to do.
Right. But that's been a thing for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like for years. I remember, I don't know, like 10 or 15 years ago, it was the NFC West was the worst division.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
With
Yeah,
the-
you had the Seahawks getting in at 7-9.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Ridiculous.
Right. And then they got a priority, right? Because they won that division.
Yes.
It's like, is that really?
And then they ended up winning a playoff game because Marshawn Lynch had that run, and that was crazy. So it's going to be interesting for sure. Though there's still a lot of stuff at play. So yeah, it should be exciting, and it'll be great to be there at the Horseshoe. And I think someone else, Tony, is going to be at the Horseshoe. as well.
Yeah, someone else will be. A very excited fan of ours, Michael Buckta, who says, "Good morning, fam. I will be in attendance on Sunday at the Horseshoe. Can't wait to see you all." Absolutely. And then, I mean, we can talk about his obsession here. He says, Barnes, by the way, the character Disney Princess Breakfast for me will happen at Disney Grand California Hotel. Looked into it yesterday. Just so you know, Brian. I know you were talking about it.
Rooms with Tony.
Yeah, obviously, dude. I will be there. And then Ernie's in the house says, "Yeah, dude, we are here
Ernie.
early for Ernie."
go. Good to have Ernie
Josh
here.
B says, "Yo, fam, happy Friday."
Josh B.
My mother says, "Good morning." And then Ernie says, "Packers can still run the board in the NFC." Ernie's a big Packers fan.
And
if you
listen,
couldn't
I
tell
mean,
right
the
now,
Packers
dude.
have had some runs as a wild
yeah.
card, so that's not crazy. But like we were just talking about, it is a gauntlet in
Mm-hmm.
the NFC, so anything can happen.
Absolutely, dude. And then Michael wants to know who had the girl in the pink hoodie in the studio.
Wow.
Yeah,
A little bit of a shot
Michael,
there from Michael.
T.
Michael Theophil.
Michael
yeah, this
Theophil.
is Michael. This is Michael, dude.
Oh, Viavel?
Yeah, dude.
Tell Michael Theophil I'm going to help myself to some of the gear and stuff around here since he's not here. I'm going to borrow it. There's a layaway program we just started, all right? So I'll see you in
man.
February.
That's funny stuff. That's funny
Oh
stuff.
man, that's good, dude.
But yeah, there's a lot we want to talk about. Of course, the football, college football from last night, the hockey, the Rangers, the golf. But before we get to that, I think it's only appropriate, Tony, if we could start in the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick six. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again.
Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones, oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
All right. So we have week 18. We say it all season, Tony, and it's actually here. And it's just so much different, I feel like, than any other week in the season, just because of the teams that have clinched and the teams, that are out of the playoffs that want to get looks at other players. And it's just not the, what we see normally through the first 17 weeks. So, it's just kind of interesting for our picks. And like we were talking about before, at least, we've already clinched, so the pressure's off, but we still want to, finish on the strongest note we can. And speaking of records here, once again, we're 32, 18, and 1. And we got the TCA at 25, 25, and 1. So, a 7-game advantage here as we head into the final weeks of selection. And, I think that's a pretty good mark. And I actually want to see here. So 32 into 51. So we're looking at a 62.7% winning percentage, which I feel, is pretty good. But it's just, like I said, there's so many teams resting, and then teams that need to win to get in that are playing inferior teams, but do they win by that much? For instance, a game that I'm sure you have circled on your calendar, Tony. You have the Bucks, who will win the division with a win over the Saints, but they're 14-point favorites there at home. But actually, that's almost tempting just because, we know what the Saints, are going through with their quarterback position. So, that's a game that has some significance to it. Obviously, same thing with the Falcons. They're hoping for a miracle that the Bucks lose. They're 8-point favorites against the Panthers. And then, you also have the Steelers and Bengals game. The Steelers, jockeying for position in the AFC wild card. Bengals needing to win, and then also have the Dolphins and the Broncos lose, and the Broncos are facing the Chiefs, who are starting Carson Wentz. So there's so many different angles here, so many big numbers. So it's kind of hard. And then the Vikings-Lions game, I know we talked about this, when we were reviewing the games earlier this week. You were kind of, in the side of you think the Vikings have that one. But again, that one, it's do you really feel confident either way? So it's I don't even know where to start here, Tony, with our picks.
Yeah, dude, it is really tough. I would still fade the Lions in that matchup. I think I know it could be maybe kind of a toss up, but I just think that maybe for the first time we see finally those injuries on defense really get to them. And who's the other receiver that the Minnesota has?
Addison. Jordan Addison. And they have Jalen Naylor, and they have the tight end T.J. Hockenson.
T.J. Hockenson, dude,
former Lion.
That's right. That is the storyline. He's a former Lion. So I just feel like that. I don't know. You want to talk about destiny, dude? I just feel like the Vikings are going to take it.
So, since this is kind of like a YOLO pick week, Tony, I think we'll just go with that. Yeah. I'll mention it when we do our Friends Day. I don't know if I would take that personally, but I'll go with you on that one. So that'll be our first pick here. Vikings.
Basically, you're stupid, but I'll
minus
do it anyway.
2.5. No, probably end up winning.
Yeah, it will.
So I think what would be fair then is I'll do what I think for one game, and then we can come together on the last one.
Oh, God.
So, I'm going to go. I know it doesn't seem the way to go just because of the way they've been playing recently. But this seems like the tail of the season. And like we said, they need a lot of help. But I like the Steelers at home plus 2.5 against the Bengals.
Really,
I know they've won 4 in a row. But just something tells me that the Steelers aren't going to go, finish this season on, a 4-game losing streak, and they want to avoid potentially having to be the 6 or 7 seed. Right now, they're the 5 seed, as well as the fact that, they can still win the division if somehow the Ravens lose against the Browns, which, I know isn't probably too likely. So that would be my pick there. So we'll go Vikings minus 2.5, Steelers plus 2.5. And then for the final pick, a couple of things that came to mind would be the Dolphins, over the Jets, as well as the Falcons over the Panthers. Anything, the Packers maybe minus 10 against the Bears. They need that game. They could fall to 7. So that's something else, but it's just a big number. You like any of those or any other ones you have in mind?
By the way, just for the record, I wouldn't take the Steelers, by the way, over the Bengals. I just want.
Well, yeah. So no, that you're just trying to get back at me, but continue.
Yeah. I'm just
filing
saying,
that.
Just put that in there, dude. Okay, dude. Right. Just saying.
Yep.
It's tough, dude. The Falcons. I wouldn't be opposed to taking the Bucks, honestly, dude.
The 14
points in the Bucks, dude. We can ask Carlton too.
Yeah, and I thinking about it, the Saints are a fucking mess.
The Saints are an absolute dumpster fire.
What do you think?
Right?
That's obviously a crazy number, but Bucks need the game.
Is Josh Allen playing? Look at an audible.
I don't
no.
know. He's getting the start, but then they're sitting him for the
so
streak.
basically he's taking one snap, handing it off.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, Buffalo minus 2.5 versus New England. I mean, but you never know. I guess who's gonna show up for New England.
Yeah.
True, but they have the first
Drake
overall
May is
pick right now,
starting
right?
though, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So and then I'm trying to. Mitch Trubisky, I think is going to start or play for the Bills.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Bucs, Tony. What do you think? We go with that?
I mean, it's the run, right?
Yeah.
Dude? Like,
all right.
The run.
I'm gonna send this over in the group chat. Once again, Vikings minus 2.5, Steelers plus 2.5, and the Bucs, minus 14.
14.
So that is
dude.
official. And we'll see. What's your thought on the 62.7 winning percentage? Pretty good, right or no?
I would say that's very, very good, dude.
Because
let's go.
that's like that type of ratio. And I know, we only did 3 games a week, but that is. I think right with the top professional cappers. That's
Really?
usually what they do. But I know they take a lot more games.
Yeah, they'll do every
but this
game
is
every
with
week,
the
yeah.
spread, so it's not like it's easy. But wow, I mean, we could have actually if we took every one of those picks, did a pool the DraftKings deposits.
This is the opportunity for a new show here. Is anyone else thinking that? That's what I'm thinking. I don't know anything about it, but this is where we need to go.
Definitely. I mean, honestly, dude,
about
start sprinkling some money
something.
here.
Actually, it's funny that you say that. I was thinking about something like that. Almost like a lock of the night, but we keep track of it. I think we should start doing that maybe next week. But especially with this, I mean, we'll have the postseason picks, but something, and it could be in any sport where we each go one pick and then keep track of the records. I feel
I'm down with
this
that.
way it's not going to be too hard to keep track of the other time.
Actually,
20 picks. But I think we should do that. I think that's
also might be notable to do a DTV DraftKings account, maybe. And pull some
that
money.
Will mirror that, but I think it's nice
to
have the updated standings.
For sure.
Like I said, I mean that percentage is pretty good.
I mean, I guess I really didn't realize. That's really good.
And then we could do a hotline where call in to get my picks. 1-900.
Who the Wiz? The Wiz.
No,
is it the Wiz?
I don't know.
On
there's
ESPN
somebody,
Radio?
There's
Oh
somebody
my
that
God,
keeps
dude.
calling in, calling my phone, leaving a message saying that he's got a lock for tonight and giving me all this stats and stuff. It's
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's been going on for years. I swear to God, different numbers. It's get the hell out of here. I don't know how you got my number, but stop calling me.
You kidding
I
me?
can't even block you because you keep calling from other numbers.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
That sounds
dude.
like we're borderline on
Yeah.
a little criminality.
But it's just one of those people, I'm sure, that just mass calls everybody. I'm just, of course, the fortunate one that has to get the calls. Of course, nobody else I know does.
That sounds kind of sketchy. But also, do you take any bets?
No, because it just
You follow up to see if he's right?
I feel like it's one of those things people pay for picks and have these subscriptions and stuff. But come on, it's totally not
that's kinda
worth it.
tough,
It's
dude,
not worth it, and especially when you're somebody like me and really all of us, but where we're watching so many games, talking about it every day. I don't need some chief to tell me what he thinks is good or not. You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree.
And
Especially
clearly we don't with the record.
I mean,
I was going to say the 67%, right? It speaks for itself.
Yeah, do your own research. You get some good results, man.
Yeah. So that's awesome. But yeah, anytime the TCA wants to send over those picks, we will read them. And before we do a frenzy here, we do have a bunch of other comments here. What do we got?
Yes, dude. Let's see. We have Michael coming back here. He says, ha, 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 ha. JK, I love Carlton. And he says, don't hear from this guy. He wants to check out gear. Smells kind of fishy. Ernie in here says he's winning fantasy team, so he's pretty pumped about that. Packers in Rodgers' second full year was a wild card that ran the table as a wild card.
Seed
dude.
before they went to 7 seeds in the playoffs.
And he says Jordan Love is repeating history. Love, by the way, the idea of the betting shows. We know Ernie places a lot of bets himself, and he would love to join that show, dude. I wonder what his percentage is like.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he seems to boast pretty well.
I mean, he should.
He
Join
does
us
the
with
crazy
lock of the night.
parlays. He's a big $2 parlay that's 15 legs, and
It's funny. Me and Tony talk about this all the time, but it seems like it's a common thing. Everybody else I talk to that does bets here and there or whatever, it has to be a parlay. No one likes just doing one bet just to win it.
What's the value?
Everybody's so obsessed with parlays. I don't know if you've kind of seen that yourself.
I heard about it. I used to work with a bunch of guys who before we got started our morning call, they were talking about all their crazy parlays from the Knicks to the Canucks to wherever,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's the extra rush.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
taking Green Bay -10 at home the last day of the year doesn't really do it.
No,
they
yeah, true.
I need to know what the West Coast NHL game is in Edmonton.
Yeah,
if that's gonna take me home.
See how the Kraken are doing.
But you know what I always tell Tony, because I think people are so enticed by the odds. But we were just saying this yesterday. What good are the odds if you don't win?
Yeah, no, totally right. It's interesting though, because like Ernie has it set up where he has like however much money he bets each week, he has it set so if he wins one week of NFL betting at the end of the season, it equates to a plus for him regardless. So if one of those weeks just hits for him, he makes money on the whole year.
I think it's
So,
just for me the frustration
cool.
of like, oh, this game hit. Okay, then we got the next game. You spend all day watching games, and then it comes down to the last game, and then that doesn't hit, and you wasted all your time watching the games all day for nothing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys, are you been big into fantasy? Do you have a team here
Yes.
with a
Yeah.
group and
Yes.
everything?
Yeah.
And like, I was into that. I was out of that and that back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found myself being all of a sudden like, oh, I got to watch every game, or it's the crap Sunday night game,
Mm-hmm.
but I got to watch it because whatever, right? I mean, that was the whole thing with bringing everybody back in with fantasy, but I think it's similar.
You want to win, you got to be good.
Yeah, but it's the
Yeah.
gambling. The gambling and
Right.
the fantasy gets people sitting there even when they normally maybe wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like a week 18, and if you're in the championship, like you're watching these games, dude.
But I would say, other than week 18, though, like regardless of fantasy or any type of bets, I still do enjoy watching every game. I guess it would just be the games where it's third string quarterbacks and there's nothing at stake. Maybe that gets a little
game.
monotonous. But other than that, I mean, NFL specifically, I've always felt any game is very enjoyable to watch.
But
Play
there was
ball.
did you watch that Thursday game? It was the Seahawks and the Bears or
Yeah.
something.
I had the
Yeah, like
Seahawks
9-6
money line,
or
Yeah,
so
okay.
it was exciting.
All right.
Everyone else
there
thought
we
it
go.
sucked.
This is it. This is right now. Roger Goodell, he just printed some money,
Yeah.
and he sat back and he's like, "Oh, like perfect."
yeah,
you know?
literally.
And then also Ernie adds here, losing a 10-legger by one equivalent is to a full frontal nut kick, but winning a 10-legger by a catch is better than sex. So
Wow.
Ernie loves these big parlays.
Yeah, he does.
Of course.
10 legs.
And then Michael says, I'll invest in that winnings go back into the show for ads.
There it is, dude.
But I would say I'm on board with this, but I'm not going to be part of any parlays, though. Let me just put it that way.
I thought you put down a parlay this year, though, didn't you?
No, but
Come on.
but not the parlay that everyone else wants to do. Most I would ever do is like a 3-leg parlay, probably just props. I don't want to do like 3 teams to win. I would be like, a team to win anytime touchdown over rushing yards. But that's it. No
That's it.
more. Does he do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 legs?
Crazy. Woohoo.
What do you think you would be your sweet spot, Tony, for like how many legs of a parlay?
I think 5 or 6, I would say is a sweet spot. But I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to bet like a parlay, I'm going to do like the money line, maybe the spread, and then a couple player props.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
The over under also would be good. To sprinkle in there.
One thing that I'm kind of jumping the gun here because we're talking about doing our best bets, and I don't even know what the line is honestly, but I've done this line twice already this year. But whatever it is, like somewhere it's usually around like 80 to 90 yards. I would say for this week, hammer Tony, Bijan Robinson against the Panthers. I think they need this game. And that's kind of been their calling card because, Cousins was struggling with the passing. Then they go to Penix. He's a rookie quarterback. So I have a hard time thinking against that type of Carolina run defense that he's not going to get probably over 100 yards. And you could parlay the anytime touchdown. I would prefer to do it separately. But that's just an idea there. Cord's good, Tony?
I don't know, dude. I think you do something with the headphones. I really don't know because Carlton wants his headphones now,
you know
dude.
what was weird, though? I swear to
crazy.
God,
You still don't have headphones?
No.
Come on, man.
No, wait, you know what was? First of all, what was the deal with mine when you?
I
adjusted?
don't know. Okay. No. I switched what input you were on headphones here because I guess yours isn't working.
But before the show started, though, because it was working.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
But like while the intro video was going, did you switch the?
No, you did something, Brian.
No, I'm
right?
just trying to
this
like figure it out. I'm saying because it was working perfectly,
Right.
and then it went away. Like right now, it
Yeah.
just went away. Right now,
right now
yes,
it's away.
yeah,
Okay. How about right now?
away.
Away.
But did before that happened though? Did you switch the inputs or no?
No, I haven't switched anything.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I was like good. It was like 5, 4, 3, 2.
That is.
Oh, really?
That's really odd. Yeah. Now just absolutely nothing.
I haven't heard anything the whole time.
Now you have nothing.
Nothing.
That's kind of weird.
Before we started, though, it was perfect.
But when
Yeah, nothing.
you switched the input though the first time, right?
To fix your headphones. Yeah.
Huh.
And now you have nothing.
That's so weird too. In the fact that like we're talking about it, it's almost like there's like a ghost in here. or
You
something.
both have nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
And I have everything over here. So I
and,
sound
and
sounds
we're
about
coming
right.
in loud and
right.
clear.
Right. You're coming in loud and clear, dude.
Huh.
It's great, actually.
Hey, I
You don't
mean,
hear, and you haven't heard any bites I've been playing or nothing, dude?
no. Well, no. Okay. See, now I'm good. So what did you just do right there?
I just touched this.
So it must be that cord is a
The
little
spigot
finicky.
on the back of the box or the cord?
Oh.
Gone. Bye.
Up. Going. No, we're good. Right there. Don't touch it.
Nothing. Oh. It's all right. We're all scream talking in here. It's fine.
Yeah. I know. Honestly, I think.
I mean, if you're good, you're good. That's all I
Wouldn't
care
you
about,
say,
really.
Tony? Like, I really don't even need a mic. Like, everyone would be able to hear. Me.
No, I think so. Yeah. You really don't, dude. Like, I can mute you and have my mic open. Yeah.
And then let's see. So Ernie said he had got the great parlay. Your mother said Officer Paul likes to parlay.
He does. That's my father.
Do you know like how many legs? Like, is he going like on the 10 leggers? Like, trying to hit something?
No, I have no. It's more like he doesn't do sports betting. It'll be more like if he's at the casino and he wins in blackjack, then he'll go take the money and go play craps or something.
Oh,
That's-
I thought that's what you were
That's a
saying.
little different.
He doesn't do
Yeah, a
any
little
sports
different probably.
betting, no horses.
No. I mean, well, maybe when he was a kid, he probably sure went to the horse track. With
Okay.
parents, probably a little bit of that. But
It's
no,
funny because you see it at the casino and like at the like Bobby V's, for instance. A lot of people still do
horse track betting,
yeah.
OTB.
Yeah.
It's on. It's still on Fox FS2
Yeah.
or whatever. It's like America's Day at the races. And I'm like, oh, what is this? Is this F1? And they're like, no, it's the ponies.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's on every
it's so
day.
crazy, dude.
But there's like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm fascinated by what they have on, the cable. Like now it's kind of slow and it's like, hey, it's horse racing or like fishing
ponies,
or
yeah,
whatever, or
dogs,
like cornhole
greyhounds.
tournaments.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, man, like this made it to the main network.
Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
ESPN's in shambles, dude. Honestly, like it's
Bold statement.
I mean, I
dude.
don't know, man. I mean, the radio isn't. I mean, New York radio isn't doing great over there at ESPN.
Have you guys talked about the NBA ratings?
Oh yes, the
yeah.
48% over the past 12 years, and they were so
Yeah.
excited. Like, a couple of these Christmas games got higher ratings, and then the NFL outdid them by 20 million. So it's just like, I mean, what are we even talking about?
But also just kind of the overall, like you said, the
48%
going
over 12
down.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of crazy because I always thought the NBA was one of the few things outside of the NFL that was growing.
Yeah, which is
But
kind of wild.
What
Now
do
it's
I-
almost.
What do I know?
Well, yeah, obviously. What did you know? Because now it seems like more like hockey. I mean, ESPN did a good job with hockey. I will say that. With hockey coverage, was once they got the rights to streaming all the
what
hockey
would
games. I mean,
you-
my ESPN Plus account is sick because I
Oh.
can watch every hockey game I want.
Yes,
dude. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And then the VPN, the Rangers.
Yes, to get because
Um,
Optimum, MSG.
What
whatever.
would you guys say if you had to put a I don't know, time on it, or if do you think it's even possible? I mean, I think Tony thinks this. Not sure what you think, Carlton, but do you think we see at some point the NHL outdo the NBA?
I don't know. I think that would. I would say probably not. I would maybe like to see that, but I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if the NHL just has that much reach.
Yeah. I mean, I know that it's grown. I think it's good that they did the new media deal. I was just thinking, because I'm looking at it in my own eyes. Like, I always loved the NBA, watching the Thursday night, the Saturday primetime, but that people would be watching it, who watch it all the time, and be like, this is so stupid. Guys are sitting out. They're just shooting threes. They're not trying. It's cool not to play defense, cool not to play. But then they would watch a hockey game and be like, oh, my God, like these guys are going a million miles an hour.
Right.
The intensity, and then switch over. So that's just my thought process. Might be long term, but I could see us getting to that point unless the NBA like brings back the hand check or institutes some rules about sitting out that could change the game.
Or like, and to keep it with the gambling, I mean, what's the over under on years that it takes for the NHL to take over? You think it would be like 5 years
no,
or 10
I
years?
think
or
10 years.
10
What do you
years?
think, Tony?
Yeah, I guess if that. I don't know if it ever will, to be honest, dude. I mean, maybe in terms of ratings, maybe, but as a sport, I don't think it ever will. You know? I don't know. Where is hockey compared to the NBA right now in terms of ratings?
Yeah, I guess we would need to look that up. I mean, I know they're behind. I just don't know by how much. I'm surprised, Tony. I was thinking you thought like eventually maybe that it would take some time, but that was 23. I have a feeling though the ratings must be lower this year.
What does that mean? 5,116
average viewers. But I wonder, is that like the final? Oh, that's the postseason.
Yeah.
I love postseason hockey. Favorite thing.
Oh,
One
yeah.
of my favorite
It
things
is ridiculous. So good.
to get behind. You know, the Bruins have been kind of a letdown, I'll say, over the last several years, the 10 or 15 years. For them to have one cup, I think is a little bit of a disappointment as a fan.
Oh,
that
yeah,
team.
dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they lost that Game 7 at home to the Blues.
Yeah,
brutal,
dude, that was brutal.
right? And then they're the President's Cup winner, and they were first round gone.
First round
to
yeah.
Florida. And then they
Game
have to
7
play
at
them
home.
again.
Yeah,
they sent them home
Yeah,
again.
it seems like they haven't got the most out of that core.
Right, and then and now it's kind of at the end, right? Like Bergeron doesn't play anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
you
obviously
just got Pasternak.
Yeah,
And
Zdeno Chara isn't there, obviously.
No.
Like your heyday, Tuukka Rask isn't there anymore. Marchand is, he'll be
and
out the door
Marchand's, I mean, he's
soon.
got to be
36.
He's got to be in his mid 30s.
Yeah, I think he's like 36. I mean, he's still great though. He's that guy.
If
you know?
you think about it, though, I mean, after the Cup, I mean, it's been almost like a similar thing to like the Rangers, like having this core for years and not winning. The only unfortunate thing is the Rangers. We're going on 30+ years here since they won. But hopefully better times around the corner. We'll have to see. Apparently, Matthew Ryan doesn't think so because he says Rangers suck, and then Michael Theophil says Vassal loves horse betting. And Michael Dave also says, I think Matthew Ryan is in love with the Rangers secretly, which I wouldn't doubt. And one thing I would say with the horse betting is I don't really do it, but I think it is fun to do like a couple bets on the Triple Crown races. But other than that, I wouldn't want to do it unless, it was like, oh, we're at Saratoga for the weekend or something. Like, I think that would be kind of fun. Like if you get like a tent or whatever. And
I would.
Right there.
It would be fun to go to the races too. I mean, it's funny because again, my parents growing up in the confines of New York City, they always tell me how like they would go with my grandparents when they were kids to the horse track and watch the horses race or watch the greyhounds race, and that'd be like a thing like back in the day, just to be like such like almost like a pastime.
Nice little Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, right. Like Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning before pasta, you go bet on the horses
Before
dude.
church.
Yeah.
Go throw a few.
Wait, have you been to Saratoga, Tony?
No, never.
Okay, because I went one time, but I don't even think I placed a bet. It was a long time ago.
Really?
But
I think I would have a good
like
time.
I would definitely like to go back there, especially go with a group of people. Go with 5 or 6 people.
Yeah. I also just feel like though it's like I mean if you're there for the whole day and there's like 8 or however many races they would do, I don't know. I feel like I would just get constantly like dejected when I'm losing because odds are I'm going to be losing these races.
But
bets.
if you hit on one long shot, then it pays for the whole day.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. But like,
I think it's hard to parachute in to that.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not in it all the
But,
time.
like I know the jockey's cousin's girlfriend. They were out last night. It's not
even
going to work.
that. Like, if you don't regularly watch horse racing, like, I think just you have to go in there and be like, all right, we're going to Saratoga. I'm going to take $500 for the day and make my peace with it maybe being gone when we're done, right?
Right,
And then that's it.
And I think if you do a deal where you have the tent, and then it doesn't even need to be $500. You bring $50, and you're just doing a couple bucks, betting on a bunch of long shots. Like I said, you hit one, and you make your money.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun. And
all right, so you want to go this weekend? Like, what are we doing? Dude?
I would like to go at some point, and I also would like to go to Belmont one time. I think that would be fun.
That would be actually really
especially
sick, dude,
Tony, if the Triple Crown was at
Triple
stake.
Crown,
Like,
dude.
tell me that wouldn't be kind
Belmont,
of crazy.
The
All
mint
the big
juleps,
names would be
dude.
there.
The hats, the funny
Richard-
outfits, dude.
No, Richard
yes.
always goes to the Kentucky Derby.
Oh yeah, the Kentucky Derby, dude.
Yeah, with the white suit.
the white suit. Great time in college, Derby parties,
Wes
dude.
Welker tripping.
Wes Welker, dude.
And then a couple more things, and I did miss this, but Ernie was talking about the 3-leg parlay, 2+ touchdowns. So he says Saquon, Henry, and Jacobs. That parlay always plays 2 touchdowns. I mean, you're going for it, but I'm sure the odds are great. And I guess his wife won't allow him to go to the horse track, so I guess she thinks he gets a little crazy there.
Lose your shirt.
It's a shame though, because I
Bet
would
the
like
mortgage.
I would like
she wants
Ernie,
to have a retirement. Yeah.
I would like Ernie to be there for our Saratoga weekend. You know?
Maybe the wife can make an exception if we're all involved and we promise to be responsible.
Is it Saratoga only, 1 month a year on Tuesdays or something?
No, it's on the weekend, but it
Okay.
is only like I want to say it might even be less than that. It might be like 6 or 7 weeks, something like that.
6 weeks. Yeah.
And then Michael says have to study the horses. Vassal says.
Gotta study,
Then
dude.
Matthew Ryan says the Masters are only 3 months away. Can you play the Masters music?
Matthew Ryan can suck it, honestly. Dude.
Producing like Michael
Yeah,
Bucket.
honestly, I'm not going to just ask him to play music. I'm going to play music after you're saying Rangers suck. You're on my shit about the Mets, too. No, Matt.
I do think there is some music you need to play for a Week 18 NFL frenzy.
All right, dude, let's get going here. Obviously, big deal around the NFL Week 18. Should be pretty interesting getting going here. Let's pull up the matchups.
Getting started on a Saturday,
dude. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's Week 18. Obviously, the crazy schedule, dude, with the Christmas games on Netflix. What are we doing? The reset this week. No Thursday football. So we're starting on Saturday, 4:30. Browns, Ravens. This is pretty interesting here. We're in Baltimore. The spread here, Baltimore minus 20. Okay, the total is 41.5. Obviously, you know the deal with the Ravens. Obviously, they're clinched. Browns, nowhere, dude. They're going nowhere. So who's starting? Who's playing? What's the score going to be, Brian? Why am I watching this game?
Well, the Ravens need this game to win the division. Otherwise, if the Steelers win, they would win the division. So
Thank you, dude.
what I think happens is Ravens fast start, maybe lead at the half, like 21-7. But then as it becomes obvious that the Browns have no shot at winning this game, maybe foot off the pedal, maybe backups in. So I actually think they don't cover that number, but I think they win, let's see, so 21 at the half and maybe another 10. So let's say 31 to 13.
Wow.
So that would be... that would actually be the over, but
It
the
would be.
Browns covering the plus 20. Like I said, once the outcome is not in question, I think the Ravens will rest their guys for the playoffs here. So give me the Browns plus 20 and the over.
Love that call there. Next game on Saturday, 8 p.m. late night here. Pittsburgh, dude. The Steelers taking on the Bengals. You mentioned the Steelers playing for their division. They also need a win here because if they lose, they could possibly lose the 5th seed in the standings here as the Chargers win. So actually a little bit more at stake here for the Steelers. Obviously, Bengals, we know, playoff hopes are up in the air. And we know Burrow, Chase, two of the most electric players in the league, but the team's 8-8. Everyone else sucks there. Oh, the Steelers winning this one at home.
Yes, I think, they've played very poor football the last 3 weeks. And I think, a divisional game, Mike Tomlin always really cherishes those. And like I said, they want to, improve their seeding as much as possible. And last time we had this matchup, high scoring. I think it was like 44-38, something like that, which is crazy. So maybe not as many points as that. But I do think we see the Steelers win in a nail-biter. Let's say 31-28. Boswell from 56 for the win. So we're going to go Steelers plus 2.5 over 48.5.
Let's go to Sunday now. Saturday's over. It's Sunday, 1 p.m. You're waking up, and we're going to be in Atlanta first, dude, believe it or not. On CBS, they're taking on the Panthers. Atlanta's minus 8. The total is 47.5. In terms of storylines here, Michael Penix, I guess, is a big future piece here for the Falcons. What are the Panthers going to do? Who knows? What do you got for this one, dude?
Yes. I know people have been saying, Bryce Young's been playing better, but he hasn't been playing that great. And I think on the road, a Falcons team that needs this game, I think this is going to be a rude awakening. I like the way Atlanta's defense has been playing. And I think, like I mentioned before, they'll lean on Bijan. And then have Penix do the more comfortable, more simpler throws. So definitely go Bijan over the yardage. I would take him up to over 90, 95 yards, the anytime touchdown. And I think the Falcons will win this one handily. Let's go with a score of 31-10. So that's going to be the Falcons and the
Falcons in the under. We're going from Atlanta. Let's go now to Dallas. Actually, Arlington, excuse me. The Cowboys taking on the Commies here. This should be a pretty interesting matchup, I suppose. Cowboys trying to end their season on a high note. Washington here, -6. Total is 43.5 in terms of the Commanders. I guess they have the Packers behind them at 11-5. Over there in the standings, so they could drop a seed potentially. They do have the tiebreaker over Green Bay based on the win percentage in conference games here. So what do you see here for the Commies, dude?
Yeah, I think, they're going to go all out for this game because they expect Green Bay to beat Chicago like they always do. Earn it. So I think this is an easy win for the Commanders. Cowboys season has been over for weeks and weeks and weeks. Jaden Daniel puts the finishing touches on one of the best seasons we've seen from a rookie quarterback. So I think the Commanders win this game. I'm going to say 35-20. So give me the Commanders and the over.
Good call there on the Commies, dude. Speaking of the Packers and Bears matchup, let's go there next, dude. It's Lambeau Field. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Packers taking on Chicago. Green Bay -10. 41.5 is your total. The Packers, just so you know, Renee, good morning. The Bears here are 0-7 on the road, Renee. Jordan Love and the Packers. He's a dog, dude. What do you have here for the final score?
Yeah, this is an absolute beatdown. Ernie cheesing the prop bets. Green Bay easily covering the -10, maybe almost covering the total themselves. But I'm going to say Green Bay wins this game. Let's say 37-10. So let's go Packers and the over.
All right, dude. Next game, going from Lambeau Field to Nissan Stadium. The Titans, another dumpster fire of a team at 3-13. What are they doing? Who's their coach? They have Tony Pollard. That's cool. The Texans are coming in here at 9-7. Obviously, Stroud trying to continue to prove himself in the NFL. Titans here -1.5. The total is 36.5. Brian, how do you see this game heading out 1 p.m.?
I just want to check either way. I'm going to go, with the Texans. I guess it doesn't say clearly, but I would expect Stroud either to not start or be pulled early because the Texans are locked into that 4 seed.
They are.
But I think the Titans are that bad where they're still going to lose this game anyway. And just an uncertain future at quarterback. What they do with their head coach. Just seems like an organization going in the wrong direction. So, ugly game here. But I'm going to say the Texans win 16-3. So, give me the Texans and the under.
Yeah, it seems about right. Titans suck, dude. Let's go 1 p.m. still in the 1 p.m. time slot. We're in Indianapolis, the Colts, the Jaguars. Possibly a great game to take a nap through. Indianapolis -5. The total is 43.5. Richardson, where's Trevor Lawrence going to be? Who's their coach going to be for Jacksonville? But more importantly, who wins this game?
Yes, so this is Colts all day, and I think they're a little extra motivated. You had Pat McAfee really torching the entire organization about, the quarterback play, his effort, and just the whole mindset of this team. And I think they're out to send a message here to Jacksonville, finish their season on a high note. So I think they get this done handily. I'm going to say Colts win this game 31-7. So give me the Colts and the under.
Let's go now to Foxborough, Mass. Carlton, Gillette Stadium as the Patriots take on the Bills here. The Pats look like to be the favorite to have the #1 overall pick in this upcoming NFL draft. The Bills could be Super Bowl winners here. We know the deal. Allen, getting the start, keeping the streak alive, but then will be pulled and benched to conserve the team here. I think the Pats still lose this one, dude.
It's interesting is are the Bills gonna try to trying to think of the word, but purposely lose this game so the Patriots don't get the #1 pick, kind of getting back at them for all those years of dominance in the AFC East. But I do think that the Bills, even with Trubisky playing, the majority of this game, will still win this game. This is an ugly game, just like the previous game between not that game, but the Texans and the Titans. So I think Bills win, but I'm going to say 17-10. So give me the Bills and the under, maybe a Trubisky anytime touchdown. What are the odds on that, Ernie?
Wow, dude, probably pretty high, I guess. I don't even know. Speaking of dominance out of the East here, let's go now to Lincoln Financial as the Eagles, Carlton's favorite team, taking on the New York Giants. Pretty interesting storylines. We know Barkley's going to end up sitting here, and the Giants obviously looking to lose this game. Would have been interesting to see Saquon break that record against the Giants, though. Nonetheless, Philly -3, total 37.5. What do you got for this one, dude?
Yeah, so it looks like McGee is going to get the start. I know, Pickett not practicing the ribs, and it's like in a game that you don't need, why would you risk even your backup? Because who knows, Hurts could get injured in the playoffs. You need him. So they will go with the third-string quarterback here. Into Dave Rothenberg's misery. I think the New York Giants win again, which is kind of crazy. But I think Locke is playing for his NFL future. And I think, Malik Neighbors wants to put the finishing touches on an outstanding rookie season here. So I think the Giants end up winning this game. Maybe not as many points as last week, but I think they'll ultimately win 20-10. So give me the Giants and the under.
That's hilarious. Next game, let's go to Raymond James Stadium. Baker Mayfield and the Bucks are hosting the New Orleans Saints here. Tampa Bay -14, over-unders 43.5. This is one of the DTV picks. And you know what about prop bets? How about this incentive for Mike Evans, dude? If he has 5 receptions for 85 yards or more, Brian, he gets $6 million, dude. So what do you got here for this outcome?
Boy, that's quite the incentive-laden deal there. Not to mention he wants to continue that streak of 1,000-yard seasons.
Yes.
Since he entered the National Football League. He's going to get it, and I think he doesn't get 5 for 85. I think he gets 10 for 185.
Easy money.
Think Baker attacks vertically down the field here, throwing for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 to Evans. And I think the Buccaneers embarrass the Saints here, 49-10. So give me the Bucks and the over.
Let's go Baker and the Bucks. Let's go to another team trying to make their run. The Denver Broncos, young quarterback and Bo Nix, 9-7, 5-2 record at home, hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. This is our first 425 time slotted game here. You want to talk about the Denver Broncos here in terms of their playoff contention? They're playing for the what? Where are they, dude?
Because
They still are, right?
Seed, but if they lose and either
That's right.
Dolphins or the Bengals win,
They're out, dude.
Which may happen and will happen. Because I'm going to say the Chiefs, Carson Wentz playing for his future in the NFL, getting the start here. I know all the starters are benched, but the coaching isn't. And I think Andy Reid can make do with the reserves here in Kansas City. I'm going to say Carson Wentz, 3 touchdowns, throws for 285. The Chiefs with the big upset on the road here as 10.5-point dogs. I'm going to say they win this game 21-17. So give me Kansas City and the under. Broncos home for the playoffs.
Wow, that's kind of crazy, dude. I'm surprised at you for that pick. Nonetheless, here, let's keep going. Let's go to Vegas, actually. Final 5 games of Week 18 as the Raiders take on the Chargers here. Obviously, Chargers playing for a lot. They're playing to raise their standings. They have to go to the 5th seed, hopefully, if the Steelers lose. If not, they'll hang around in the 6th seed as they've clinched a playoff berth, I believe. But the Chargers here are -4 on the spread. The total is 41.5. Raiders got question marks in their organization. Chargers just battle through this one or what, dude?
Oh, yeah. And I think, a lot of running the football here, leaning on that defense. And I think the Chargers control this game and ultimately end up winning 23-6. So give me the Chargers. 11 wins in Jim Harbaugh's first season. Chargers and the under.
Love that, dude. Next game, let's go to L.A. Actually, we're going to L.A. It's right, Inglewood, dude. Let's go to SoFi Stadium as the Rams taking on the Seahawks of Seattle at 425. The spread here, Seattle's -6.5. The total is 38.5. Obviously, would have been interesting to have this NFC West matchup. Possibly could have came down in Week 18. Does it? Rams are fine. So the game kind of doesn't mean anything, though. What do you got?
You know who it does mean something to? The backup quarterback for the Rams, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Wow.
Getting the start, kind of similar to Wentz here, looking to kind of solidify his spot for next season. Seahawks, of course, out of the playoffs, but, want to end the season on a high note. So I think Seattle will win this game, but I don't think that they cover. I think it ends up being close. So I'm going to say Seattle getting the job done here. Let's say 24-21. So we're going to go Seahawks winning but not covering and the over.
Final 3 games. We're going to MetLife Stadium as the Jets are taking on the Dolphins, Brian. Obviously, Jets way out of contention. Dolphins need a win and they're in, I believe, right? Because they have...
If they get the loss out of Denver.
Oh, and then you lost at Denver. Wow, dude. Okay. So Dolphins obviously playing for a lot. They need the win regardless. Total set at 38.5. What do you think's going down here at East Rutherford, dude?
This is interesting, though,
Is it?
Because Rodgers going for career touchdown pass number 500. Also, this could be the last game of his career. And then, the Jets, typically, this has happened before. I'll never forget. It was in Miami. Geno Smith winning the last game of the season, going to 8-8, keeping Rex for one more year. We've seen that. But I just think the Jets are that bad where at home against a backup quarterback, they're not winning this game, and I think they look pedestrian like they have for most of the year. And I think the Dolphins easily take this one 24-10. So it's going to be the Dolphins and the under.
Speaking of pedestrian, this next game is pedestrian between two pedestrian teams, the Cardinals and 49ers in Arizona here, who I believe the Cards just hosted some pedestrian bowl game. The Cardinals, though, -4.5. The total is 42.5. Kyler Murray, what are we doing, dude?
That wasn't a pedestrian game. That would also be known as the Fiesta Bowl.
Yes.
Between Penn State and Boise State.
My
which
Fiesta
will
Bowl.
end up being a far better game than what this game will be. Two teams out of the playoffs. What are they doing next season? Injuries, all of that stuff. But I'm going to say the Niners will win this game, despite having to go with Dobbs. I just think, for a disappointing season, they want to end it on a high note. Kyle Shanahan, I think, far better coach than Jonathan Gannon. And I know Kyler Murray, Tony, has the tendency to make some mistakes, throw some interceptions. So, an ugly game. Give me San Francisco here, 17-7. So let's go Niners and the under.
All right, at the very least, we have a nice primetime matchup here, 8:20 p.m., Ford Field, the Lions, the Vikings. Everything is at stake here for both of these teams. Vikings, the Cinderella story. Darnold, the resurgence. Jefferson, great job. Lions, the Cinderella story. Goff, the resurgence. Campbell, great job. Detroit here, -2.5. Total is 55.5, Brian. What do you got for us?
This is going to be the best game of the season. Number 271, the last. Collinsworth, I would say I would recommend muting this game because he's going to be just waxing poetic about everything. Jared Goff here, what Jared Goff does. That pass was picked off. But, I think this is going to go down to a game-winning field goal. The Lions, team of destiny this year. Jake Bates, the kicker, from 60, Tony, walking it off. Number 1 seed, NFC North. Lions, 41-38. Lions in the over, and just like that is your Week 18 NFL Frenzy.
Wow, dude.
If that actually
and the music
happens
fades away
in that fashion, Tony, that will be ridiculous. There's nothing more exciting to me than a long field goal to win a game.
Yes, I think everyone who watches the show knows that, Brian.
But I feel like you agree, though.
Yeah. No, I do agree, obviously. Jake Bates, dude. Especially for a matchup like this, too. It's going to be really tremendous to finally see these two teams end their season the way it does. On Week 18, which has a lot of, let's say, pedestrian matchups, right? I think this would be a really great way to cap off the NFL season. Regular season.
Now, based on what you were saying before, it sounds like I was just thinking about a couple of things that are at stake here. But the Broncos, you're expecting them to win easily against Carson
Honestly,
Wentz?
yeah, dude, I do. I don't know about easily, but I expect them to win. And definitely, honestly, that would be a great underdog pick for the spread, right? What is
Well, no,
it?
they're favored by 10.5.
Oh, they're favored by 10.5.
See, that's why I feel like Wentz, and also too a quarterback like Wentz. It reminds me of like Baker getting matched up with Sean McVay for those couple games a couple years ago. I think that's the perfect place for Wentz to be, and I expect him to play well. Because, like I said, I think he wants to show, with all the needs at quarterback around the NFL, that he is worthy, Tony, of potentially, getting a
starting position?
or at least competing for a starting position next year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's not really going to be doing much, I suppose, for Kansas City. But I guess we'll see, dude. I don't know. I think Bo Nix has had a really tremendously surprising season for a first-year quarterback. And speaking of, a man trying to prove himself and have a little bit of a resurgence in Peyton, too. I mean, I think he's trying to prove that he can come in and fix Denver. And obviously that Russell Wilson was more of an issue. So I don't know. I like Bo Nix. I like what they got going in there.
And then what about the Steelers-Bengals? It sounded like you think the Bengals make it 5 in a row. Steelers dropped their 4th straight.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, as much as Steelers are my dark horse team for the Super Bowl beginning of the season. And obviously they've had a tremendous speaking of good coaching, Tomlin with Russ there. I think Russ is slipping a little bit the past couple of weeks. I don't know, dude. You can see him like throw a little pick all of a sudden. And obviously these past few years, the regress of the running. I mean, he gets another year older. I don't know. I mean, it was great in the regular season. I'm more of a Justin Fields fan, honestly, over Russ Wilson. And because of that, I just think, Burrow and the Bengals, I mean, obviously everything's on the line here. The entire shitstorm of their season is really kind of culminating to one moment, which is right now. And Joe Burrow has some of the greatest stats for quarterback around the entire league. And Jamar Chase does for receivers. So it's like, I just feel like they're going to be electric enough to figure it out, even though, Bengals O-line doesn't really help out. There's not really much else. Struggling defense as well. But like I said, I just think I can see Wilson maybe throwing the ball away one too many times. And, I think for a game like this against Burrow, you're going to have to be perfect because I know Burrow's probably going to be perfect.
Yeah, and he's 359 yards away from 5,000 yards for the season. Even against the Steelers defense, I expected there to be a lot of scoring in this one, so wouldn't be surprised if he gets to that mark. So yeah, there's definitely some interesting storylines here, and it'll be great to be at the Horseshoe while all this is going on.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, dude. The Horseshoe
and be there for the start of the Vikings Lions game.
That's right, dude. What's your game of the week, dude?
Well,
Come on.
I feel like though
Lions Vikings?
I mean, there's no other choice. I would say we would have to eliminate that.
Right.
And then, and I'll start with you, switching it back to you,
Oh,
Tony.
you're just going to do a reverse card here.
Yeah.
All right, fine, dude. Taking that out of the equation, I mean, I guess Steelers-Bengals because they really are both playing for it. I guess just for everything I just said, really, I guess I just kind of hyped myself into watching this game because I was going to go with the Bucs because the run, Bucs, Mike Evans. We're pulling for the Bucs to go on a run if you can't figure it out.
Got it.
So, yeah, I still think game of the week, Steelers-Bengals, though. Now I'm going to give it back to you again, Brian. What do you think?
I want to see Bills-Patriots simply because, the Patriots starting Drake May. I know I did take the Bills, but with the Bills resting a lot of guys, it is possible that the Patriots lose the number 1 pick, and nobody would enjoy seeing that more than me.
That's true, dude. What about you, Carlton? You got a game of the week, dude?
I mean, outside of the
Minnesota.
Colts and the Jags, I also like Tony, the Bengals and
Steelers.
The Steelers. I think that Burrow's hot. I think they're peaking. The
Yeah.
Steelers are losing. They're going the other way. Burrow was my fantasy quarterback this year, and
Oh.
everyone mocked me earlier in the season. And then after he was throwing, massive touchdown games, and I'm behind him. I'm a fan. I think I'm a little emotional about it.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
think so,
and it's interesting too. I think Tony was saying he thinks because of their uneven record, or even right now at 8-8, that Burrow, shouldn't get the MVP, but I think he's been so good. I think he deserves it, regardless of what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get it, if they win and they can, but they need help, right? They need other help too. But I think if they got in and they could do they could win playoff games. I think if they got in.
Yeah, I think so too. I think like Burrow and Chase are at that level that they can take control of games,
But for some reason, they can't get going at the beginning of the year.
Well, it's that. I get. Did Burrow have an injury coming into this year?
Well, he had an injury last year.
The wrist.
Yeah.
And then Jamar Chase unhappy with the contract, I think, or something. And then it's just their offensive line. I mean, how many times is Burrow going to get blown up? There's games where he just never has time to find Chase downfield. So, I mean, regardless, I guess we'll see what happens. And also, Saturday, 8 p.m. too, you're out. Like, it's a good time for, it's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah, they really got the mark right on that one.
Yeah, dude.
And it would be fascinating if they were to get the 7th seed, they would be in Buffalo wild card weekend. That is dope.
That's an interesting matchup.
Yeah, that is really nice.
For sure.
I would go Buffalo, though.
We'll have to see what happens, but this is always a really exciting time of the year in the NFL as we approach the playoffs, and who will hoist the Lombardi Trophy this year. We'll have to see. But if we could go now, Tony, to the world of the National Hockey League.
Speed, here he comes! McDavid shoots! Top shelf! He scores! Captain with the overtime winner! That's the middle break! That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping, rink wide! Made the full split save!
Are you kidding me?
Turn, side of the net, between the legs, and they score! Filthy! David Pastrnak, the silver trophy to the Golden Knights!
All right, so one of the rare times in the last, I think now 26 days, I think the 4th win for the Rangers here, 2-1 over the Bruins. So neither of us hit the score exactly on the head, but we all had the same mindset here to win this game.
Scores!
There wouldn't be a lot of scores. It would be more, Jonathan Quick stepping up, and that's exactly what he did. 32 of 33, so one save away from a shutout here. And what the Rangers did, control the tempo early, 2 goals in the first, and then just play defensive hockey the rest of the way. The 1 goal by Lindholm was the only scoring for Boston. And, I think, people were saying on Twitter, too, they felt like the defense still was lagging, but Quick, just saved the day here. And, you get the Berard and Zibanejad goals. And that was Berard's first one at MSG, so I'm sure he'll remember that one. But at the end of the day, Tony, a much-needed win for the Rangers. Now, what did you see out there? Did you feel like this was, especially defensively, I mean, Quick really just stepping up, and he's the reason why they won this game?
I guess. Listen, I'm not going to say. I mean, yes, he's a huge part. If it wasn't for him, they would have lost for sure. But obviously, it's a team effort, no doubt. Yes, I saw the defense lacking. There was just so many times where the Bruins would have like a sustained offensive shift in our zone. Rangers can't clear it, which, it happens, especially against a team like the Bruins where they have good guys on their roster. Like, they're going to have that. But it was just like the stupid stick checking, it seemed like a lot of Rangers defensemen were not stepping up and using their body much. And obviously, we know some guy like Lindgren will, Miller will, whatever, but it just meant they're not right now. Sometimes Lindgren's like one of those guys too, who's just like hitting anyone for anything, not necessarily with a purpose, not with much intent. But it's just like so many times I would see like some Bruin guy just taking a stroll down Main Street and have like a easy look at Quick, where it's like you see the defenders just like tossing their sticks around, start trying to stick check. It's like, dude, just like step up and lay some bodies, dude, where I just feel like the Rangers weren't doing that. So, that's definitely something you want to look at in terms of improving your defense. It's just not giving these players so much time and space to do what they want. Don't allow them to forecheck. Don't allow them to dump it in and get it back out of the blue line and start set up. You really have to start to obstruct a team from trying to, accomplish something on offense with the puck. You gotta have to stop something. That being said, I did like the way Will Borgen's been playing. I guess I haven't really watched him a ton necessarily, but last night he had a couple good plays. This is the 28-year-old that came over from
Kakko trade
for
to
Kakko
Seattle.
from Seattle. Yeah. I don't know much about him necessarily. 28 years old, like I mentioned, he was drafted originally by Buffalo, 4th rounder. Like we had mentioned, kind of a little bit more of a truer defenseman, which is great. That's exactly what you want. Especially here I am, like, acknowledging his efforts here. I think, maybe some other defenders on the Rangers could take a little page out of his book and just it's a heads up play is really, I just think, what the Rangers need. Because they make stupid mistakes still. I'm still watching Mika make a stupid pass on her own end that turns into a turnover and then an opportunity for the Bruins. Like it's like those stupid things are what's going to kill the Rangers. Those really stupid decisions too. But other than that, dude, obviously you're happy with the win. Before this, Rangers on a 4-game losing streak. Obviously, you know where they're at in terms of that season. But I think, having this win under your belt against, at home, against a rival, is huge, dude, for morale. The fact that it was Brett Berard too getting that goal. I don't know if you saw that goal too, if you watched the game live, but tremendous opportunity for him, dude. An absolute ripper of a wrist shot. And it was like a 2-on-1 situation. Bruin defender was like playing the pass. So this, young player, Brett Berard, who barely has been playing in the NHL, decides to take the shot on his own, and he gets one past Swayman. So that was cool. But I mean, I think Brian Boyle said it really well in between. It's one of these intermissions. You need your bigger guys to step up. You need like Kreider to step up. You need Artemi Panarin to come in here and step up. If I wanted to be more convinced that the Rangers are on the right path, I know the win is there, and I guess they are on the right path if they're winning. But I would have liked to see more of a decisive victory. You score 2 goals in the first. You don't score again for the rest of the game. You get outshot. Yes, it was great to see your classic Rangers closeout game. You go into the third period up by 1, and you do close it out. That's great. But I want to see some more offense. I want to see some more electricity here. Let's keep this one going, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And they will look to do that tomorrow in the nation's capital. A little body clock game, though, Tony. 12 o'clock start, and then they will have to head to Chicago because it's a short flight. For a game, I believe at 3 o'clock on Sunday. So a lot of hockey coming up for them. You would love more than anything to kind of get a reset here, win those next 2 games, and then you're back to 500, and it's kind of a new season for there. But obviously, we know how well Washington has been playing, and it is a quick turnaround. So we'll have to see, and I think we'll do a bonus selection in our frenzy. Have that be the last pick of the frenzy. We always like to do that when the Rangers are playing over the weekend. But before we do that, just looking at that game, I know you were kind of saying like a 50-50 proposition for the Bruins game last night. But how do you feel going into that game tomorrow at noon?
I don't like it at all, dude.
Yeah, like you're
basically
expecting to lose is what you're telling me.
Capitals here,
lost to the Wild in a shootout.
But still, dude, they're a great team.
No, of course.
And that game against the Wild, I believe Charlie Lindgren had that kerfuffle in the trapezoid, gave up a stupid turnover trying to play the puck, wide open net, you end up losing it. I don't think it's going to happen again, to be honest. And the Capitals have been playing really well. Ovechkin with the goal last night, dude.
Yeah, and he had a chance to tie it in the shootout, but he missed it to give the Wild the win.
I think that's just, and the Wild are arguably a better team than the Rangers. Not arguably a better team than the Rangers right now. So, it's going to be a tough matchup. The back-to-backs, the body clocks, dude. The tough schedule, I should say, not the back-to-backs. But I don't know. It's going to be a tough game, and I guess we'll see. Again, if the Rangers play like they did last night against the Bruins, they're going to have a little bit more offense. You're going to probably have to win this game 4-3, as opposed to 2-1. If you're giving opportunities to Ovechkin and Strome and Wilson like you did to the Bruins, they're probably going to score. So you just can't do that. And it's like, who's the tender going to be? Because one of these games, Louis Dominguez is going to have to start.
I would think they'll go with him against Chicago, no?
I guess so.
That would, to me, anyway, would make the most sense. Or
and then they're off Monday, right?
Yeah.
Back on the road Tuesday. Let's see.
If it was up to you, what would you do? Between those 2 games.
Let's see if we then
Dallas at home on
Dallas
Tuesday.
at home on Tuesday.
And you
so
want Quick
yeah,
for that
quick
one.
rest it up for that one. Yeah, I guess you're right. Start him on Saturday.
We could beat Chicago with Domingue.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel like Domingue's gonna step
But
up. a little bit,
that's
dude.
what I was. Dude, I really don't think he's as bad just in terms of like not getting to play in the NHL. I think it's one start the past 3 seasons. I really think he deserves to be like a backup goalie somewhere. Honestly, he just hasn't got the opportunity, and I think the Rangers are fortunate, to be honest, to have them like as their 3rd string goalie.
Yeah, no, they are
For
fortunate.
third string.
Obviously,
Third
just
string, yeah.
obviously, the last thing Rangers fans wanted to be dealing with was an Igor injury, right?
Oh,
so
of
it's just
course, but I'm
the
just
whole
talking
thing
about
is
the
just
depth
horrible,
of the
dude.
position.
Yes, it's great.
Yes, we
Yeah,
want
yeah.
Igor, but
Yeah,
dealing
dude,
with
it's
it
great.
the way
It's
we
great.
have to, of course.
Jonathan Quick's doing a great job though.
Yeah, quick. Honestly, I mean, his
Connecticut boy.
tenure with the Rangers as a backup goalie. I mean, you could argue. I mean, I know it's short so far, but it's like the best we've ever seen as a backup. Honestly.
Molly Walker on Twitter reported Brett Berard talking about how Jonathan Quick took him under his wing, and how Jonathan Quick is specifically always hanging out with all the young guys in the team, making sure they're all acclimated, having a good time. Like,
And I talked to the father's friend. He said,
that's
"Let's do it
right,
forever,
dude, forever
as a backup." I mean,
so
why
it's
not?
like you love
Why
to
not?
see that, dude, from
Yeah.
a guy. And again, I would imagine. I mean, I would be fanboying. I would imagine they are too. I mean, this guy's a legendary goaltender. Like,
Yeah.
sick, dude.
So you love to see that.
Sick.
And then before we get to tonight's game, just running down the results from yesterday. The Hurricanes 3-1 over the Panthers in Sunrise. Burns, Slavin, and Nikas. You had Kochekov almost flawless in net. 25-26. It's interesting. Florida has lost some games recently, but I think it's just one of those things where, first of all, Carolina we know is a good team. And then also Florida, I think it's just like get them to the playoffs, and it's hard to not like them against any team in a playoff series the way that they dominated last season. So we'll have to see there. But similar records for the teams: Carolina 23-13-2. Now Florida is 23-14-2. So that was a pretty good game there. We mentioned the Wild 4-3 in the shootout. Ovechkin did score in that one as well as Tom Wilson. Capitals still 25-10, 12-4-3 at home. Wild 24-11, 14-3-3 away from Minnesota. So that's an impressive mark there. The Red Wings, what happened to Merz Lincolns, Tony? 5-4 over the Blue Jackets there.
That's tough, dude.
So we have seen this recently, though, where since they've went to the interim coach, the Red Wings seem to be winning a couple more of these games. So obviously that was big for them. They're 16-18. Columbus falls to 16-17-6, and it's 16-18-4 for Detroit. I think
Only their 5th loss at home this season.
Yeah, 12-5-3.
Yeah.
But I think just an off night. And I think they're still going to be in competition to get maybe the last wild card spot.
Oh, yeah,
depending how things fall. Tighter game than we thought, but still the same result. Toronto 2, only 2 goals from McMahon as they beat the Isles 2-1. So typical Islander loss there. 14-8-7 now, only 7-9-2 at home. Maple Leafs improved to 24-13-2. One of the best records in the Eastern Conference. The Stars 4-2 over the Senators. Rupe Hintz with 2 goals there, and Brady Tkachuk had a goal and an assist for the Senators, who fall to 19-16-2. How about the Ducks, Tony? They've been one of the hotter teams in the league, it feels like. The overtime win over the Jets, so they win 4-3.
How about that?
Troy Terry with the game winner, and that was interesting because that was the one time I didn't take the Ducks to win one of these games, but I don't know. To me, I feel like they keep reminding us maybe they're a little better than we think, because this is an impressive win. That was only Winnipeg's 3rd regulation loss at home this year.
Which is pretty wild, dude. And I mean, if you think about, the Ducks are just that gritty team, it's kind of crazy because I feel a couple of years ago they had some young players and they were looking really good. But I guess, I don't know. I mean, obviously, what's his name has been injured, right? Trevor Zegras has been injured.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, having Terry back,
2 goals last night.
2 goals in the assist. Frank Vetrano, a familiar name for us with the assist as well.
Gibson, the grizzled vet.
Yeah, John Gibson, actually, who does surprisingly, I think, boast good numbers. I guess Trouba's been doing all right defensively also. I've been trying to keep a little bit of an eye on him. He was, +2 on the ice last night. So I mean, I guess kind of taking the Jets by surprise a little bit. Did they start? Yeah, they did start Hellebuck. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for them, dude.
Rare, kind of down game for him.
Yeah, I would say so.
But as we've said all along, still one of the best teams in the league. And despite a Jason Zucker hat trick, the Avalanche come back
ridiculous,
from 3 down,
crazy game,
to beat the Sabres 6-5 in overtime. Tau's the game winner. And then you also saw Bowen Byram with his 5th of the year in his return to Colorado, where he won the Cup in 22. Yeah, just an insane game, but I think this kind of proves to the point that I was talking about yesterday, where with Colorado, if they just get that defense in check, they can beat you offensively in so many different ways. And if their defense isn't in check, they can still score 6 goals and win. So despite, coming against a very inferior Sabres team, I thought it was an impressive win just from the fact that you were down 3 goals and didn't flinch and had the had the guts there to win it in overtime.
Yeah, dude, I feel like this matchup is pretty interesting too, because I feel like the Sabres for the second time this season really played up against the Avalanche. And it's just Colorado. I mean, exactly like they drew it up when they won the Cup. It's offense, 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 and goaltending later. And I still can't believe they have 2 former Devil goaltenders in Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood, who are also bad.
Yeah.
Carlton. They're not good goaltenders. But this is Colorado's thing. They don't care. They double down on good forwards, and they have good defensemen. So it's like they can get by. Even when the Sabres, any other team, scores 5, they end up scoring 6. So there you go, dude.
Yeah, and I think, down the stretch, that's going to be a dangerous team for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Utah win 5-3 in Calgary, coming back from 3-2 at the start of the third period, 3 unanswered to win this one. They improved to 17-15-2. Keller, his 14th. Crocet had 2 goals, his 5th and 6th of the year. And not a vintage Vizmelka performance, but 23 of 26. Good enough. So it seems like the switch to the Utah Hockey Club from the Coyotes has been treating them well as they're hanging in there and look to return to the postseason for the first time in quite some time. And I think what a boost that would be to that franchise if they're able to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just even in terms of players wanting to come over and play for you, I mean, the Coyotes playing at Arizona State wasn't really helping them. And I mean, in terms of this game, I mean, I guess, Calgary is just one of those really weird teams. Another 18-13-7, but they're not going anywhere this year. They have like a weird talent or culture problem there. I don't know what it is for Calgary, but they can't ever seem to get it off the ground, which is ever more evident in this 5-3 loss, Brian.
How about Tommy? I know he's just doing it to help me. But
what
he
did he
loves
say?
going pronunciation. It's pronounced
Jonathan
Taves. Just like that's not any relation to the one that was on
Chicago, Jonathan Taves? No.
But I do appreciate it, honestly. And he says crazy game, nasty looking leg injury for Wedgwood.
That's what that was, dude. Okay, I was wondering why.
So Colorado really
Not good.
Going through like the carousel with these goalies. So obviously they're gonna have to pick up somebody to fill that void there. So we'll have to see what happens. We saw the Golden Knights win 5-2 over the Flyers. Wasn't surprised there. I mean, Flyers did lead 1-0 after the first, but then they were outscored 5-1 the rest of the way. Samsonov 23 of 25 in net. Knights improving to 16-4 at home. So always been one of the stronger home teams, and they look to advance deep in the playoffs and maybe win another cup after winning a few years ago. So we'll have to see what happens, but I think definitely one of the best teams in the league at 26-9-3. And what do you, is that broken leg, you think, Tony? Or?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to. Ooh, yeah. Here, I can share it here for the folks at home so we can all watch together. Let's see here. Okay. So yeah, look like what you're looking at right now. I'm at the replay angle, what you're seeing on your screen. And basically, we already got him down. They're gonna cut to another angle of it, a better angle. After this, yeah. So right here, a little bit of a, I guess, like a shove in front of that, in front of Wedgwood. And this Sabre player gets kind of tossed down by Kelly, and I guess kind of lands a little awkwardly on Wedgwood's ankle. So maybe they broke his ankle or something. Because he goes down pretty hard and is down, like he's injured.
Somebody throws a puck here too.
They shoot.
See, right there.
Yeah, he just shot.
You see it?
No,
But somebody from the stands.
Oh wait, what? Really?
Go back.
Yeah,
you looked away.
I saw it.
Somebody in this when they score, watch a puck is just gonna fly through the shot.
Oh.
That's definitely a random puck.
Yeah, definitely
Wow.
a random puck.
That's
kind of
crazy.
wild.
So yeah, you hope that he can recover from that injury. That's obviously gruesome.
Yeah, you
who
hate
knows?
to hear that,
I
dude.
mean, maybe they try to trade for Domingue, or they maybe sign Jaroslav Halak, Tony, because it's not like these goalies just grow on trees,
Yes, that's very true, dude. Although it seems like for Colorado it possibly does, which is crazy. The carousel they've had, Georgiev, Anunen, and obviously they had Darcy right before that. So it's like what
But
the
if
hell?
you're the Rangers, let's say Domingue, vintage performance against Chicago, they win the game, they offer you like a fifth. Would you do it or no?
Wait, what? What? No,
Because
absolutely
it seems
not,
like you don't even like
dude.
Domingue. That's why I was asking.
I
know because Igor's injured. That's why you're saying it. But all I'm saying is you don't seem like you're like thrilled. Obviously, I know it's just you want Igor playing, but just take that aside. It doesn't seem like you think Domingue is that good. Is what I was getting at.
He's not that good, which is why he's a third string goaltender,
So
Brian.
you wouldn't. I thought you would want the 5th round pick. That's what I was asking.
I mean, I guess so, but like right now we do need him. Damn, dude.
No, at 885 at Hartford. I'm saying. I mean, I
Not
figured
good.
you were tight. Yeah.
no, not good, dude.
Gentleman Jack, get out it.
A former Ranger, the hero in Seattle last night, JT Miller, the game winner in a shootout, 4-3 here. So Vancouver, a much needed win. They had been going through it here, but they win on the wrister for Miller, and. But I think Tony, I don't know. I thought you were gonna crack up. Whatever.
9.
But yeah, I think Vancouver, despite their struggles recently, I still think they're a playoff team. And I wouldn't be surprised if they look to add a little bit to kind of improve, their team here, because I think they could be dangerous when they got everything firing. And interesting though, Demko maybe injured here, or unless they pulled Lankinen.
Oh wow! Actually, I don't know. Let's look it up, dude. If he gets injured, their season's probably gonna be over, dude. Thatcher Demko leaves game versus
Back spasms,
Kraken.
so he's fine. He's barely played this year though.
He has barely played. Back spasms, not good, dude.
Yeah.
But I mean, for a team like Vancouver too, last year, great job. Thatcher Demko was a big reason why they did so well in the regular season. Obviously, middling results in the postseason for the playoffs, and obviously they're trying to build upon that. But like you said, they're definitely gonna need to add, I think, another forward, dude.
Yeah.
Or I mean, obviously Quinn's been doing great over there on defense for them. Maybe they need a defender. I don't know. I can do some maybe look into it, but I just feel like Besser, JT, although they've both been out. JT was out for a while. Besser was out for a while. Even sometimes overlapping, they were both out. So that could be a big reason why. And still, yet they're 4 games above 500. I think 7 games above 500. So they're still doing well.
Losses.
8 overtime losses.
That's a lot.
Gotta try to limit that. I think even more than Islanders. I think at that point. Islanders, I think have 7. I could be wrong, but
yeah. Bowser too, or is it
Besser,
Bowser? Or
Besser.
Tommy will tell me. It's Brock Besser.
yes,
But you always said
Bowser.
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 Okay, but it's Besser.
I
Interesting.
believe it's
Okay.
Besser, dude.
I'm sure Tommy can confirm that for us.
I think when you look at these pronunciations too, you gotta look at like if I'm listening to Sam Rosen pronounce the away guy, sometimes he is wrong.
Oh,
It's best to go to the local broadcast because they normally make sure they have the names right.
But
Happens, dude.
Yeah, so be interesting to see what they do. But I think obviously a big win for them because they had really lost a lot of games. And of course, I think part of too, earlier in the year, maybe why they struggled with Miller missing the time, because you go back to what he did last year. That was truly, probably a
outstanding
career year,
yeah.
For him and at his
Absolutely,
age.
dude.
That's pretty impressive for sure. And with the last game of the night, we saw the Sharks, and I believe you called this, Tony, or no, you went Lightning. I think you were thinking about it, but then went Lightning, right?
Yes, I was thinking about it because at the end of the day, Celebrini, first overall pick here, good storyline. Obviously, Barclay Goudreau, the former Ranger himself, on the roster.
Ranger
dude.
legend.
Ranger
Barclay
legend,
Goudreau.
dude. But obviously, they got it done, dude.
Snapping,
Good for them.
what was it, the 8-game losing streak, I believe?
Yeah, dude.
They've had a lot of long losing streaks. First-year head coach, obviously, they fired Quinn last season.
Injured Cub.
Toffoli with his 15th, Ferraro his 3rd, and then the 1 goal by Cirelli for Tampa. But yeah, I think it's just one of those things where, randomly you have these poor teams playing, tough against the top teams in the league, and they had got shellacked last time they played in Tampa 8-1, so they returned the favor only 2-1, but I'm sure that victory,
win is a win.
Nevertheless, was pretty sweet.
Absolutely.
And speaking of victories, there's a few teams on the ice tonight that will be looking to do so.
Absolutely, dude.
Looks like we got 1, 2,
5?
3, 4, 5, and then we'll do the Ranger game tomorrow. So a 6-game NHL Frozen Frenzy.
Let's go do some Frozen Frenzy Friday around the NHL, dude. A lot of great matchups this weekend, unlike the NFL. Let's start off now, 5 games, 7 p.m. The Panthers, Brian, in Amaranth Bank Arena, Sunrise 4, taking on the Penguins. Obviously, both teams doing pretty well. Penguins for themselves, all things considered, 17, 17, and 5 is good. Panthers, it's business per usual, dude. Last time Panthers were out, they beat the Rangers. We know that. Second time these two teams will be facing each other, actually. Penguins stole one in OT against the Panthers early December, dude. Florida here, minus 210, over under 6.5. Are they getting revenge tonight, Brian?
Yeah, I think they are, and I think they're disappointed with the result last night against the Hurricanes. So I think they bounced back, and you look at Pittsburgh, they've lost 3 out of their last 5. The only wins over Philadelphia and the Islanders. So I think Florida kind of, gets back to their ways here of dominating a game. Spencer Knight or not, I think they'll win this game easily. Let's go 5-2. So Panthers in the over.
Panthers in the over, absolutely. Crosby's showing his age out there. Next game, hour later, 8 p.m. on this Friday. We're going to Chicago. Blackhawks take on the Canadiens, Brian. A lot at stake, I think, for Brian. Brian likes Bedard. Canadiens, he says, youthful team. Obviously, Montembeault in between the pipes. Suzuki, Caulfield, the future. Canadiens, minus 135. The over-under, give it a second, is 6.5. Brian, what do you got?
I would say give me the Canadiens in the under. I just feel like both teams, struggle to score at times, but love Montembeault, love Caulfield and Suzuki. Bedard, we're all rooting for him, but still a way to go. Has scored more recently, up to 10 goals, 23 assists on the year. But this, to me, smells like a 3-1 Canadian victory. Montembeault, 30-31 between the pipes, and the hat trick for Caulfield, all 3 for the Canadiens. So give me the Canadiens in the under.
The Hattie Boom Batty, dude. I love that call there. Blackhawks, 5-game losing streak right now. We'll definitely make it 6. Canadiens in the under. I think they're winners of 3 in a row. They're starting to heat up, Brian. Next game, third game, still 8 p.m. St. Louis, the Blues, a team that just played in the Winter Classic, dude. They're going to be hosting the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa is coming in here even on the money line. Over-under is 5.5. Blues, we know, dominated Chicago in the Winter Classic. Senators just beat the Wild. And last time out, late October, the Blues fell 8-1 to Ottawa. Are the Senators piling it on tonight, dude?
No, I'm going to go with the Blues. I think the Winter Classic win, that momentum carries over as they're back at the Enterprise Center. I think a tight game, but I'm going to say the Blues win 3-2 overtime. Kyrou, the game winner. Blues in the under.
I love that call, Blues and the under, dude. I think I'm going to go Ottawa, though, here tonight. And I'm going to go with the over. I just think both tenders, I guess Senators got all marks. Regardless, dude, I'm still going Senators over. I think lots of scoring. I think the Blues definitely jumpstart the scoring from the Winter Classic. Build on that. I think Senators edge it out, though. And I would say, I think it's Stutzel, third period. Go ahead, 6-5, Senators in the over. Next game, 9 p.m. Also, Brian likes this one. Why? It's Edmonton, dude. The Oilers in Alberta are taking on another favorite team of Brian, Anaheim, dude. The Ducks are flying together here. Anaheim. Talk about some value on the money line, Carlton. They're plus 340, dude. Okay? The over-under, hold on, give it a second. Sorry, I'm a little late on that one. The over-under, I would have to guess 6.5, and it is 6.5. Ducks beat them 5-3 December 29th, Brian. What do you got for the Ducks?
Yeah, I mean, like I keep telling you, what good are the odds if you're not winning? And while I do like the Ducks story, I think there is not any quacking here at Rogers Place tonight. I think a pure dominant performance from Edmonton. Another hat trick, McDavid. And I think the Oilers win easily 5-2. Give me Edmonton in the over.
McDavid, 0 points on the score sheet. Autofocus. David, 0 points on the score sheet, dude. I think Ducks, bet the mortgage, dude. The plus 340, the value. Let's go. Bet Ducks, bet the over, because the Ducks are winning this one 5-3. Next game, last game, 10 p.m. Vancouver. We're going back to British Columbia here as they take on the Nashville Predators, dude. Nashville minus 150. Your over-under, Brian, is 5.5 here. The Predators beat the Canucks late or mid-November, I guess you could say. Obviously, Canucks kind of finding their own a little bit more, maybe. I don't know. Predators have lost 3 in a row, though. What do you got?
Yeah, this is just insane to me, and it reminds me of like when they played Winnipeg and the odds were very low on the road. I don't know. I think it's just that these Vegas honchos, they don't watch the games. They're like, oh, Nashville has a lot of veterans. They'll play better. They'll win. And sure, Vancouver, you look at it, they've lost 4 out of 5. I don't care if Jaroslav Halak is getting signed to start this game. I don't care about Quinn Hughes being injured. The Canucks are going to win this game. It's utter ridiculousness that Nashville is minus 150. Are you kidding me? Plus 130 all day on the Canucks. And I'm going to say they'll win this game 3-1. So give me the Canucks in the under.
Oh, man, I didn't realize Quinn Hughes was injured, dude.
Doesn't matter.
No Quinn Hughes, no Thatcher Demko, dude.
But Lankinen, if he gets the start, because I know he played.
Yeah, I guess you're right, dude.
Has been playing well.
Canucks in the under. Canucks win 2-0. Jake DeBrusk, both goals. That is it.
The Saturday game, Tony. Don't forget.
Oh, that's right. The Saturday game, dude. God
High
damn it,
noon.
dude.
The nation's capital.
I know, dude. I'm nervous about this one. Let's go to the nation's capital, Brian. High noon on Saturday. Rangers Caps. You know the deal. If I had to guess here, because I know it's ESPN and they don't put the lines out if it's more than a day ahead, which is ridiculous, I would say the Rangers here are plus 150. The over-under is going to be at 6.5. The backup tender, obviously, the Rangers. Caps, let's go, dude. I mean, it's a big game. What do you say here?
The Grizzled Vets, Jonathan Quick, Alexander Ovechkin. But I think there's a little momentum from winning that game last night. Is this the start of the run? Tony's rooting for the run here for the Rangers to get back to 500. They can do it if they win this game. And I'm going to say an overtime game. Christopher Kreider back from the dead. The game winner. 3-2 Rangers. Rangers and the under.
We're getting crazy here. Jonathan Quick. One save away, you say, from the shutout, Brian. I say he gets this one against the Capitals. I think it's going to be another lowly offensive performance as well. I'm going to say a Philip Hedl lone goal. You know what? I say there's an empty netter maybe at the end. You know what, dude? Maybe a power play goal by Kreider in the third period, too. I say the Rangers take this one 3-0. Jonathan Quick. I don't know what they're putting in his food, but he's great, dude. Let's go.
And just like that, that is your Friday Frozen Frenzy.
Yeah, dude.
And then it's funny. Michael says, "Make up your mind, Tony." He loves chirping you. He loves it.
I mean, what else is new, dude? Honestly, but I mean, sometimes it's tough. It's tough picks over here, man.
And speaking of picks, the TCA did text us, and their picks are Giants +3, Jets +1, and the Browns +20. Kev Deuce saying LMAO. Yeah, so that we'll see if they can finish the season over 500, but I don't know, man. I'm not sure about the Jets, but yeah, I could see the Giants because I did pick them to win, and the Browns to cover the +20. So you never know. Could be a 2-1 week.
Yeah, you never know, dude. I guess we'll see. Only time will tell, dude.
And it's the Connecticut pizza that he knows it's better than NYC.
Yeah, what the hell is he talking about, dude? What is he, high? Because it's I mean, it's just not the case, dude. It's not.
There's plenty of good pizza though in Connecticut, though. That's one thing that.
Yeah, but it's not better than New York, dude. Like, it's not.
I mean,
it's
it
not
depends
even-
what place
no,
you're
no, 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 no,
talking
no, no.
about, though. Yes, Tony. Like,
First of all, depending on what place you're talking about, I'm saying just in general.
there's a bunch of
Just in
shit,
general,
but the thing
dude.
that you won't acknowledge is, despite there being very good pizza parlors in New York, there's a bunch of shitty ones as well. So don't try to make it seem like it's this 10-0 shutout. Not how it works.
Yeah, but first of all, what you're saying is not how it works. Sure, if I put the worst pizzeria in New York, it's the best pizzeria in Connecticut.
But not even
yeah.
that. There's just a bunch of like bad ones. I'm just telling you, like, oh, we're open all night. Get a slice, and like it's like, well, it's frozen pizza. Like I'll get some.
Yeah, but see, you know what's probably the difference for New Yorkers though with that is that like that's what you get though. Like you're getting what you pay for. Like they know it's $1 slice. It's 2 a.m. coming from the bar. It's not going to be good. Okay. And that's what Connecticut serves, and then they say they're the best in the country.
No, and then one thing that I don't
No,
like
that's what
as
they do, though.
Well, which is, that's not true, but
Yes,
we'll
it
just
is.
skip over
Yes, it
that
is, dude.
part. But then, Jay coming in here talking about New Jersey pizza, like, I really question that New Jersey pizza is good. Like, the rare times that I've had it, it has not been good. And I think it's like, oh, we border New York, so yeah, it's the same. No. It's not the same. But yet you seem to defend New Jersey pizza over Connecticut pizza, which I just don't understand why. Like,
Because there is good
it's two
pizza in
different
Jersey.
things, but it's not better than Connecticut. And the way you talk, it's like, oh, it's just as much better than New York.
Well, I
is.
haven't really. First of all, let's pump the brakes here, okay? I don't really talk about New Jersey pizza, okay? That's not really my thing.
But when
I
you
know
do,
I know a
you've
few
alluded to
places,
that.
yeah, because I've been to good places in Jersey and they're delicious pizza. And I mean that's just it is what it is, dude. Like Connecticut just doesn't have the best pizza. That's it. Like there's
see,
no. It's
no,
I
but
don't
you're
care.
too-
I don't care if they marched on Congress to make them declare Connecticut pizza capital. It's cute. It's just not real.
I
though.
just
That's
feel like,
not-
though, if I ordered your pizzas in Connecticut, you would never have a bad pizza.
No,
But there's
no.
questionable things like getting the moldy salad. I know that's not a pizza, but it's just the point. It ruins the experience. Questionable ordering from you sometimes.
No. First of all, there is no question. If I order a cheese pie and it's not good, like you're shot.
But-
like I shouldn't have to get sausage and onions and peppers
But
to
it depends
taste
what place you're getting,
ingredients.
Tony.
That doesn't depend on anything.
Yes,
dude. If
dude.
you're playing, if you suck, you suck. Okay.
I just think like it's the same thing as what good are the odds if you don't win? What good is the deal if it's not good?
Yeah, you know what?
Luigi's. I'm calling out
you know what,
Luigi's,
dude?
basically.
What good are the toppings if the pizza sucks anyway?
But
dude?
what pizza are you talking about that sucks? Like, give me like a reputable place or a place that has a good reputation in Connecticut that you think personally sucks.
Bar pizza. Bar sucks. I think.
I see. I've had a great mashed potato bacon there.
See,
And this obsession with cheese too. It doesn't always need to be cheese, Tony. Toppings are illegal in all 50 states, just so you know.
yeah, but that's the point, though, dude. Like
No,
that.
you're-
Like, what do
no,
you
you have,
mean?
like, this cheese
What do you
fetish,
mean,
dude.
dude?
It's weird. I
No,
don't
it's
know.
not.
Yes,
It's
it
not.
is.
It's
Yes, it
not.
is. Yes, it is.
It's like saying I don't know. It's like I love grilled cheese when you put ham and lettuce and a burger in there. Like, oh, it sounds
No.
great. I love grilled
we're
cheeses.
gonna, I don't know. We're gonna figure something out, but we're getting to the bottom of this with this like anti-Connecticut bullshit. So I don't want to hear it. Some things really aren't good, like the weather. Okay, I'll give you that. But there's a lot more than what you allude to. And some of the good things, a Connecticut resident himself, Tommy, saying, great show, boys. Let's go Rangers. Quick gets number 400 tomorrow.
Yep.
USA, talking about Peralt in the juniors.
Killing it, dude.
And then also a couple more here. Jay talking about New Jersey pizza is goated, better than Connecticut, New York. Connecticut, New York is loser pizza. And then Michael's saying, Jay, you're not even in the convo. We didn't. The United States confirm it in Barstool's.
That's irrelevant,
El
dude.
Prez
See, that's
confirmed
so
by
embarrassing.
New York City.
That's so embarrassing.
You may, but New York is not, or New Jersey is not. And he says, Jay says, pump the brakes, Michael. I'm always in the conversation when it comes to pizza. And they said, hi, you're funny, get real.
Honestly,
And then
get real is
Michael's
right, dude.
saying, it is confirmed by the United States of America, the Connecticut pizza capital, as El Prez did as well. Someone who has had more pizza than Tony in more places ever. And then Jay saying, let's be real, Tony and Barnes will eat any pizza anytime, anywhere. But I just think like I can see ahead of a pie whether it's going to be good or not. And I just feel like sometimes, Tony, like questionable order. Like I can't believe that you gave Luigi's another chance after that salad, honestly.
Dude, first of all, did we actually?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter because Luigi's. I don't know if you've ever been to Luigi's, Carlton, on Fairfield Ave. It's like
not.
on the line of Bridgeport and Fairfield.
Okay.
A great local spot with a reasonably priced. Those don't even get to the prices, by the way, of Connecticut pizza, but a reasonably priced pie, especially for Fairfield. And they make very quality pizza. and you get exactly what you're paying for. We've had issues in the past with their salad, just because the quantity is small, and then last time there was like wilted lettuce in there. But
not salad pizza.
not salad pizza. No,
Okay.
just their salad on the side.
Just the salad.
But it's just like, like Mike and I, like there are weeks where we order from them 3 times a week. And every time it's great pizza. So it's like, obviously, if it's one time with the lettuce, I'm going to give it another shot. Okay, Brian?
What's your favorite pizza around here?
I like Pepe's.
Yeah, he has like this weird animosity towards Pepe's. Like Pepe's is amazing. I don't know what is.
Well, I will say last time I had Pepe's, it was probably the best I've had Pepe's. the last
Which
time I
one
had
was
it.
that?
Well, I guess actually the last time I had it was technically at Mohegan. But the last
Okay.
time before that was at Fairfield Pepe's.
Okay.
And it was really good. But it's because Pepe's is the same thing. Like the clam pie, like, get away from me with that.
But
I don't want your clam pie.
But does it have to be just a plain
No, no,
matzo?
no, no, no.
I mean,
Honestly,
what
Mike-
is pizza? Right? I mean,
Right. Well, I mean, listen, I will say, as much as I rag on, El Prez or whatever, I know Michael likes to talk about him because he loves Connecticut pizza. He is right where it's like, I think you should gauge pizzerias on their plain pie. Like that is, I think, what pizza is your cheese slice.
But I think it's all the same because like you still are eating the cheese, eating the sauce, whether it's a plain pie or not.
Yeah, but when you have pepperoni on it, it's different. It's an entirely different pizza.
But like, what kind of? If you were going to order just your fantasy pizza, what's it going to be?
My
Cheese.
go-to? No, honestly, we change it up almost every time. Sometimes sausage onion is probably the most
Or
consistent.
Sicilian.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess
But
Sicilian
you're going
pies
to go
too,
to the
but-
place that has the best combination of that, right? I mean, that's the pizza that you like.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But,
yeah.
but also,
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't think a place is going to be good with toppings like if the cheese and sauce isn't good. So I feel like it's all the same thing because it's on every pie, the cheese and the sauce. So.
Which is why
Right, so it
you
doesn't
gauge them
count.
on the cheese.
But it doesn't. It's you have to have both. It's not one or the other.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I've never had a
but, yeah,
place
but
that's
like,
like,
no,
oh, cheese and sauce is great, but the toppings suck. Like I've never had that.
I've had. I mean, there's some places that use different types of
One
sausage.
place.
What do you mean,
but
what
would you go
place?
to
Like, if you
Colony
get
and
so
never get
Name a place. I'm saying.
like the sausage at Colony is the little rolled up balls that they probably buy fucking frozen, okay, and still charge you $1 for, all right, which is ridiculous. And then you go to Luigi's and they have nice sliced Italian sausage.
I would say though, sometimes the sausage, especially if you're getting just sausage with no other topping, gets a little like heavy and overwhelming. So I kind of do like it a little thinner, honestly, because it's like
Yeah, it's up to you.
too
Yeah.
much sausage. Like you know what I mean?
There's this place on Staten Island where they cut it thinly, or vertically, so it's like a strip from the sausage link, and that's like pretty good. It's like very thin. It's almost like a halal, like slice of lamb or something.
Like a sausage fry. There,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
exactly, dude. That's like pretty interesting. But in any case, dude, I mean, Connecticut has good pizza. I just don't think that they're the best in the entire world. I think that's ridiculous, and that the fact that you need to say that Congress says it is bad.
And
it's
you,
not
you've
good,
never had
dude.
Zupardi's as well, I think, right? Or no?
Where's Zupardi's?
West Haven?
I think that's the place I did have.
Oh,
Zupardi's
okay.
is very good.
Yeah. No, that's like one of the
Dude,
better
there's
pizzas.
pizza I like, obviously, in Connecticut, but it just does not
But
hold
you
a
know
candle.
What the thing
to
that
places in New York.
I have to disagree with is like the upper echelon pizza. I've had a pizza from New York. It's like there's no
What place?
Separation.
What place?
Actually, I'm not even.
Oh,
sure, to be honest.
okay, dude.
No, Artichoke Baselli's.
That place sucks. Okay, dude, stop. It's a chain.
No, actually,
All right,
now I
dude.
think about this, other than like the slice on they're open late or whatever, I actually don't think I've had. Because I'm trying to think, we didn't have pizza at your house, right?
I don't think so. The Chinese food. Next time we're at my house, we'll get a pie, dude. And I'm telling you right now, it's the dough, and that's why it's better. Everybody knows it, and you just can't change it, dude. It's fine.
I just know though, like Remos is great pizza, Pepe's is great pizza, Sally's is great pizza.
Remos and Stanford.
Modern, yes, yeah,
Bon Bedford.
yeah. No, that's I actually get more so the like dinners,
Mm-hmm.
but whenever I get the pizza, it's amazing.
They're plain
That's my
pies,
spot.
isn't it?
I honestly probably get it 3 times a week. I'm not gonna lie. Because you can get so many different items.
Pastas,
And I
dude.
hate cooking. Tony
mozzarella sticks.
always has his chef hat on, so it's a little different. Even though he gets a lot of pies, but he enjoys the experience of cooking.
Well, hey, man, you cook, you got meals for like 4 days. On the 5th
chopped
day,
meat.
God ordered pizza, So
Chopped
there you
meat.
go, dude. Like, what do you want? Exactly. The chopped meat with the rice or the grilled chicken, whatever you want, Carlton.
A couple other things, though.
Broccoli.
Jay
Asparagus.
saying, let's be real. Tony and Barnsley, any pizza, anytime, anywhere.
That's a fact.
Tony's afraid of a little clam. I bet he loves a sausage pie. And then,
Everybody loves that.
Michael Butka says, Tony, would you actually go to Disneyland with me, or you're just joking, buddy? What's the answer there?
I mean, I would if I had, the time, the schedule, and we have Saul calling in right now. He's probably going off about pizza. I would go to Disneyland with Michael Buckta. We got Saul on the line. I'm just going to push him through.
And
it.
Michael says,
hook
I
him
know
up, dude.
Barnes would not be in attendance for that one.
For Disneyland?
Yeah.
Come on, what Barnes paid for you, all expenses?
If
Barnes,
Barnes?
if Michael Buckta paid for you, all expenses.
If we could go to a sports game every night that we were there, yes.
Well, obviously you're not in Disneyland,
What's
buddy.
up, dudes?
Saul, you are live on the sports
Saul,
part,
what's up, man?
dude.
You guys are talking pizza, man. I'm all in.
What do you got, dude? What's your favorite spot? Tell me right now.
Well, I want to. You're killing Connecticut. I want to come up there. I want to go to Sal's. Is it Sal's up east?
Sally's, Pepe's, and Modern are all in New Haven.
Ma-
and then,
yeah, the Dave
Parties in
Portnoy.
West Haven.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to go like on a pizza day.
Yeah, and Tony doesn't know what he's talking about. Bar pizza is really good too.
It's not good pizza, dude.
I'm in. Bar pizza's good.
No, it's not like bar pizza. The name of the bar is bar.
Name of the restaurant is Bar. But it's a bar.
It's
It's
a
a bar.
okay.
It's a club.
Restaurant
at
and
night.
bar is
Club
bar.
Yeah, dude, it's a bar.
And they give out free
literally-
pizza sometimes.
Exactly. That's the gimmick. That's why people like it. It's free pizza at
But
2 a.m.
you
when
have
you're
to
hammered.
you have to pay for it many times.
When you're hammered, yes.
Yeah, it's good
When
pizza
you're
when you're
12 deep.
hammered, dude. Okay,
Yeah,
and that's
12
what,
deep.
you know what? That's why Brian thinks it's good because he's always hammered, dude.
No, dude, I have pizza sober all the time. What are you talking
They're not
about?
giving out that
Wait,
mashed
Saul,
potato.
Saul, I forgot.
Yeah, no,
where,
they're
You're
not.
exposed.
where do you live again?
I live on Long Island.
Long Island. Okay. Now, is there a particular spot like around there that you feel is like can go toe to toe with any Staten Island pizzeria or no?
Albert's Pizza.
Tony, have you heard of it or no?
No, never. I don't think I've ever been to a pizzeria on Long Island, to be honest. Maybe once when I was a kid. a couple times,
are you a Tony like cheese only or do you like toppings?
No, I'll play around. I'm in for everything.
He'll play around. He
Play
said.
around. That's probably a bite like Michael
Yeah.
Viafield.
Yeah,
No
that's gonna be
mushrooms. I'm not a mushroom guy.
No, yeah, fuck mushrooms.
I
dude.
love
That's disgusting.
mushrooms, but I don't usually get them on pizza. But I think
I like
they're-
mushrooms, but just the ones that make you see stuff.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Diplo.
Did I just say that out loud? Oh my god.
Oh, dude.
It's been a long time, dude. I haven't done that in fucking forever, but
what do you think? The Rangers get the win last night. Any better times ahead, or you think I was just an abbreviation?
I got to tell you guys something. My cable service took MSG.
Yeah, I have Optimum as well. But you got to go.
Dude,
ESPN
they
Plus
took
and
MSG
VPN.
away from me.
I don't believe
They might get it
like-
back. There's like even a Twitter
You read that?
war going on. I saw it in the TCA chat. But hopefully they sort that out because that's ridiculous. And I've always loved Optimum because they have everything, the Yes Network, all of that.
Yes, you get everything you want, but
Yeah.
I went to find the game and it's black screen. I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah,
They
no,
pay cable.
it's annoying. But
How much? Do you have any idea how much it's going to cost to get the channel back?
well, I guess you would have to either get a streaming service or pay for the Gotham Sports app.
Yeah, but they're gonna Optimum's gonna get it back probably. They just
What
gotta
are they
You
come-
never
doing?
know though. Like
Agreement, though, right?
Frontier years ago
Yeah.
got rid of the Yes Network and they don't have it.
That is
So,
kind of ridiculous, dude.
yeah.
What are they doing? How much money do you need?
Yeah, it's so
More.
It's so
They want more
ridiculous.
money.
But I would think
I know,
though,
but it's obnoxious.
both sides are going to make more money if they just come to an agreement. So you would think that just because of that they will. I mean, I don't know.
I guess so, dude. Right? I mean, it's all about the money.
Yeah.
It's fucking obnoxious. That's what it is.
Well, I'm sorry you have to go through that, Saul.
Yeah, because I can't watch them. I can't watch the next one. I want to watch the next. I'm fucked.
Yeah, I'm sorry. dude.
Yeah. Knicks have been playing.
You just have to go down to your local Albert's Pizzeria and watch the game there.
No, the local joint is now Nino's. Albert's is back in the day.
Oh, Albert's
Oh,
is back in the
just
day.
like-
Gotcha.
Nino's. Okay.
Nino's is right around the corner.
But I know you didn't watch, but I mean, just in general though, do you think that there's any better times ahead, or the Igor injury kind of compounds things?
That's a problem.
Quick though. I mean, I do believe in
Quick was sick. I heard because I was talking to Tommy Hawkey last night, and
Tommy.
Quick. I love Tommy Hawkey. He's my boy. Quick was sick last night. Apparently,
I didn't hear that.
Wait, no,
What?
did he say did sick or was sick?
Oh, he was sick? Like he was ill?
no,
Or you're saying he was sick?
he
like
was
didn't
sick as
play?
playing. I was sick like the way
Oh,
he
yeah.
played.
Yeah, no, he was.
yeah.
Oh, that's a
dominant.
term.
He was
That's a
awesome.
term on the
And then
island
if he
here.
wins
Yeah,
tomorrow, that'll be 400 wins.
No, it is sick, dude.
All right, I
but-
mean, we got a great backup goalie.
No, yeah, I mean, literally, this is what you're paying him for. This is what you kept him around another year for. People forget about that too. I mean, you have to bring him back this year, and obviously it was a great job. Not that anyone was
How about
expecting you to
putting
go
pucks
down.
in the
but,
net? How about that? How
No,
about
literally,
scoring some
no,
goals?
you're
Can we
totally
do
right.
that?
I mean, scoring 2 goals last night was just not. It just wasn't. It's not enough against other teams. You need to
That's
find
not-
ways.
But you're sounding like you're saying though you don't think any type of rebound is coming. Like you think this is just going to be a lost season.
I hope not. I'm optimistic. I'm not a pessimist. So yeah, I'm hoping that
Eternally optimistic.
they turn the shit around.
Do you think that they can though with what they have, or do you think that they have to do some more trades?
I don't know who's out there.
Exactly, dude. No, there really isn't many. I don't know.
That's the problem. Who's out? Like who?
We've
Who
looked
you
at
going to
the-
get rid of?
We've looked at the list like several times, dude, and there's nothing in that like enticing. Barring making a huge, substantial, significant move, like trading away one of your, grade A players, your top guys, for someone else's top guy. But to put a trade together like that is tough, dude.
I don't see that. I think they're just going to roll. They're going to run it through like this. And
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree with that, Saul.
what about the coach? Is the coach gone after this year?
If they miss the playoffs, then yeah, Laviolette's got to be gone.
And I
dude.
wouldn't be surprised if we get another long losing streak that if he's just fired before the year's over too. It depends how it goes, but hopefully they just turn it around and can maybe like sneak in as a wild card. Like that would be great.
Yeah, you're right, dude. You're totally right.
What about the Giants? Are they going to fire everybody?
It seems like they're not from all
It
of
does
the
seem like they're
reports,
not,
but I
right?
think that's the wrong move because then they're going to end up firing them next year and have to reset things after you draft a rookie quarterback. Who's calling in?
Potential spam was just calling in. Bastards. Potential spam. Who?
Michael Viavelt? Who's spam?
Oh my gosh. You ever had spam, dude?
But what do you think the right move is for the Giants?
I don't know. It's so. I love the Giants. It's so bad. I don't know what to do. Like,
I mean, I like the idea. I saw this floated out there, and again, I was saying the Vikings.
yeah, go ahead. I want to hear
trade
your idea.
Darnold, but it sounds like they're going to re-sign him. So I like the idea of the Giants trading for J.J. McCarthy. Everyone's saying if he was in the draft this year, he would probably be the number one quarterback. So I think, because a lot of Giants fans, let's just tank again and get Arch Manning next year. And I just feel like enough with the tanking. Like at some point, you need culture. You need to know how to win. So I like that idea.
Yeah.
And then obviously they could get some help, maybe move back up the draft lottery list if they're able to lose to the Eagles. With the Eagles benching people, who knows? But I say get the quarterback, and then if you're going to keep Dable in shame, then maybe the hope is Dable can work his magic that he hasn't had a guy really he could work with because Daniel Jones was already a diminished product by the time he got him.
With Brian Dable, is Josh Allen just that good, and Brian Dable's just a coach? Like, what this guy's doing is insanity.
But you know
so
what?
Brian.
You know what it is?
Did he
though?
really
I mean,
develop
Allen
him and
is
make him that
good,
guy?
But I guess, being fair, can we really judge Dable on, Daniel Jones not developing? It's like, I don't think if you had Vince Lombardi, he would have been able to develop Daniel Jones. But the one thing I think is just the record
It's just a
over
question.
the last few years, just hasn't been great. So that's more what I look at, that it's just like you can't even be like a 5 or 6 win team. You have to be one of the worst in the league and get embarrassed a lot of weeks. So that's what I kind of look at. I know he doesn't have a ton to work with, but I think he could have done better, and that's why I question him as the coach ultimately.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a good coach. I mean, the first year he won Coach of the Year.
Right. Obviously,
Won a freaking playoff game.
Yeah, so wild.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
And now it's,
but like I said,
I don't know what to do.
The reports say that they're going to keep him. So like I said, then let's get the young quarterback right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not big on really any of the quarterbacks in the draft, at least Shedeur or Cam Ward that high. I feel like if you had a stronger class, they would be
That
middle
high?
to late first round picks. So to take them 1 and 2 seems like a little bit of a stretch. So it'll be interesting to see, but I think definitely get the rookie quarterback.
You give him one more shot with a quarterback that he can develop one year, and then if they suck, then
Yeah. Yeah,
Bye-bye.
exactly. Then
All
then
of it.
you'll know for sure. And I think John Mara
He's not a
too,
good coach.
knows he's been through a lot of coaches, so maybe that plays into it too.
Yeah. It was
So-
Josh Allen is awesome. You're not a good coach.
Yeah.
And now we proved it.
Yeah, absolutely. So be interesting to see what happens. But
Yeah.
But thanks for calling in, Saul, and
Always a pleasure.
definitely call
Likewise,
us back
dude.
anytime, and hope you have a great weekend.
Binge Buddies, noon 30, dude.
too,
If you want
man.
to talk some movies.
What's that?
Binge Buddies on at noon 30 today if you want to talk some movies.
Noon 30?
Noon 30, dude.
What does that mean? Like in a half hour?
Yeah.
What kind of movies?
We're recapping
Any
best
movies?
of 2024 and what you're looking forward to 2025, dude. Obviously.
All right, man. I might jump in.
Yeah, dude. Feel free. We'll be on then.
All right.
All right, man.
Peace.
You guys have a great day.
Saul Goodman.
There we go, baby.
So, yeah, just before we wrap up here, I just wanted to mention a couple things. We talked about Kapalua, first tournament of the year, the century.
Yes,
Tom
dude.
Hoagie, your leader at 9 under par, shooting a 64. How about my sleeper, Will Zalatoris, tied for second with Matsuyama, 8 under 65. So, strong start to Zalatoris this season. Had a strong start last year, top 10 at the Masters, and then tapered. So, this is a big year for the 28-year-old. And we also saw Cam Young 7 under 66. Colin Morikawa, Tony's pick,
Bang.
7 under 66 as well.
That's right, baby.
Tony Finau 6 under 67. Almost forgot he was in this tournament.
Tony.
And then you had Wyndham Clark 4 under 69. Ludwig Aubert 4 under 69. Max Homa using Jordan Spieth's caddy, Michael Greller,
Really?
4 under 69. Spieth out with an injury. Keegan Bradley 4 under 69. Victor Hovland 3 under 70. And what surprised me, Tony, is Xander Schauffele 1 under 72. Obviously very early, but wasn't the strong start I was hoping for. And remind me your sleeper again.
I had Max Greiserman, dude, who I think is tied for 23rd. If
Yes, 3 under par. So
Yes, 3 under par.
Solid for sure. You also have Ashke Bahatia, 2 under 71. But of course, a lot of golf to be played, and they'll be getting started in about a half hour. And again, 6 to 10 on Golf Channel. So I'll be sure to watch a little bit of that later on. And then, we'll see who ultimately wins this one. But judging from the scoring yesterday, probably another high scoring affair. We had a low scoring affair in the Sugar Bowl last night. Kind of a crazy game. Notre Dame wins 23 to 10. They had like the 10 points in 6 seconds. Kind of a crazy sequence of events. Georgia with that fumble late in the first half. So they, had a 13-3 deficit going into the halftime locker room and ultimately lose, like I said, 23 to 10. You look at the game as well. Notre Dame to start the second half, which really cemented this thing, 20-3 lead after a 63-yard kick that was returned 98 yards for a touchdown by Harrison.
Wild.
Just a disappointing end to the season for the Bulldogs. Notre Dame 13 wins, most in program history. And their quarterback Riley Leonard, Duke transfer as a senior here, under 100 yards passing, but ran for 80 yards and set the tone. The defense played well. Be interesting to see if they can get back to the national title game. You look at the matchups for the semifinal now. We have Texas, Ohio State. That's going to be 1 week from today on January 10th. And then we have Notre Dame matching up with Penn State. So kind of a blue blood feel here as we get to the end of the college football playoff. 2 nostalgic programs in Penn State and Notre Dame, 2 schools that haven't won anything in quite some time. So it'd be interesting to see if they could do that. But I think everybody has Ohio State circled as the favorite for being the champions. The way that they blew out Oregon was so impressive. So Texas seems like that's going to be a lot for them, but time will tell. Any interest for you in college football?
Not so much. We were talking about before about I was getting back into Cuse a little bit. They had a good run this year, but I did watch some of these games this past week, right? So Arizona State and
that game was unbelievable.
Yeah,
Arizona
that was an awesome game to kind of get you into it.
That was just the one.
That was really and then I did watch some of that Ohio State game too yesterday. That was a bloodbath, or whenever that was, 2 days
2
ago.
days ago.
2
Yes,
days
against
ago.
Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, that was surprising, right? To see them come out like that and just kind of put the smack down on them.
Yeah.
But-
Oregon undefeated, #1 team in the country. That was amazing, and they had already beaten Ohio State.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's cool to see these other teams in there, like a mix. Like it's all mixed up now,
Yeah.
right? It's just who's the best team. You got Penn State and the West Coast teams, and then Notre Dame, and then the Ohio State. I don't know. I think it's exciting. It'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, Penn State and Notre Dame haven't won in forever. Texas won the last time with I think it was Vince Young, because I don't think they won with Colt McCoy, if I'm not mistaken. And then Ohio State probably won last 8 years ago, something like that. So it's not like these teams have been winning a lot recently. So it's a good storyline, and whatever matchups in the national championship game, I think it's going to be great. And I think if I had to do a prediction now, that it would be Notre Dame and Ohio State, and that is a classic matchup for sure. So looking forward to watching that. And then the other bowl game that we had yesterday between Duke and Ole Miss ends up being a laugher. Jackson Darts, last start of his college career, gets Ole Miss their 10th win of the season, and maybe helps his draft stock a little bit. I believe it was over 300 yards and I believe 4 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. The final score there was 52-20. Dart, 404 yards passing, 4 touchdowns in a weak quarterback draft. I think there's definitely an opportunity with a strong combine to move himself in the first round. So that's going to be interesting. Duke, just behind the 8 ball there with all of the transfer portal stuff. Ultimately, that comes back to bite. And then we do have, I think it's 2 bowl games today.
Looks like.
So we have the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl coming from Gerald J. Ford Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Texas State, a 14-point favorite. 64.5 is the total here. And I don't know anything about the transfers or any of the players in this game, Tony. But that being said, give me the underdog, Texas State. 14 is a high number. Give me the under as well. And I'm going to say Texas State outright. Or not. So it's North Texas is the underdog. My bad. But anyway, we'll go North Texas outright. Let's say 24-17. So North Texas and the under 64.5. What do you got, Tony?
I don't know, dude. I've been praying for an underdog win, and there hasn't really been one yet, right? Like an actual dog.
Rutgers was a dog. They won. I'm just saying. It happens.
So I would say give me Texas State here, who's minus 14. Sure. I mean, I would go with the dog, and I would honestly probably hammer the under as well.
64.5 is just rich.
Right? Why is that so much, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, do they think they're gonna? I guess maybe they think Texas State's gonna put up a 50 burger on North Texas. I guess I don't know, dude. But I would say Texas State, the Bobcats, beat the Mean Green, and maybe they'll get a new mascot after this year. I'd say by the score of, I'll say 37-21, dude.
All right.
So let's go.
And last game of the night, coming from Charlotte, North Carolina, home of the Panthers, Bank of America Stadium. You have Minnesota favored by 9.5 over Virginia Tech. Total 42.5, 7-5 versus 6-6. PJ Fleck, row the boat. He's always jacked up. So give me the Gophers here, the Golden Gophers, Tony. I'm gonna say winning this one. Let's say 31-17. So that would be Minnesota in the over. Are you rowing the boat, or are you a Hokie guy, Tony?
I mean, I guess I'm going with the Gophers. Minnesota, I guess if they're half as good at football than they are at hockey, I guess they'll do good. In the, what is this called? The Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Duke's Mayo Bowl, yep.
What's the deal with that?
In terms of what is that?
Is that a company that makes mayonnaise? Like Duke's Mayo?
No, I feel like the Mayo Clinic.
Oh,
I think, anyway.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Well, in any case, yeah, I would say give me Minnesota. Again, the favorite here. We've seen a lot of favorites win. Total 42.5. I guess a little bit less rich than 63.5, whatever it was. I would say Minnesota. Ooh. Actually, maybe this won't. Yeah, actually 21-24. That's in the over. Bang. Field goal at the end.
All right. So That's that's what we got.
I don't do
And
college
obviously,
football either.
We'll have
can't do it.
the NFL over the
NIL
weekend.
deals.
There's one other game on Saturday we'll have. I don't think it's anything of consequence,
No,
Tony.
it's not, dude.
It's actually the last bowl game of the year, other than the playoffs, which are, I guess, technically bowl games, but we get it. The Bahamas Bowl, Liberty Buffalo. But I think Buffalo earning for the opportunity to get into the warm weather.
Dude.
I think they take down Liberty in that one. Total 50.5.
That's sick.
I am definitely going to go Buffalo in the under, but let's say Buffalo 31-10 over Liberty. Are you ringing the Liberty bell, Tony?
I guess so. I'll ring the Liberty Bell and then I'll go down the slide at Atlantis, which is where this game is at,
And then
which is
play
ridiculous.
some blackjack
dude. Yeah,
at
I'll
the
play
casino?
some blackjack.
Go to the
yeah.
I've done both those things.
Yeah,
My
right.
blackjack dealer down there, his name tag said fingers,
No.
and I lost all my money.
yeah.
Yeah, sure enough.
Sure enough.
Sounds like a blackjack table. That's for sure. And then Tony's favorite topic to close out here. We already mentioned it, 2 o'clock NBC, UConn Gamble hosting the Providence Friars. I don't care what the number is. UConn's covering. I'm going to say they win, honestly, 81-60. Michael Buttka through the ceiling and how dominant this victory is. So definitely, I think Gamble will be rocking as well. So good to see UConn getting back on solid footing. So
Yes, dude.
yeah, that's really it. And Binge Buddies coming up. Tony jacked.
Pending.
And Michael Buttka asked, though, UConn by 20, but then he says, who's the guy on the couch?
Who's the guy on the couch?
Oh, I'm Carlton. I'm staying here tonight.
Yeah.
Michael Buttka also says we're
I'm just waiting
three-peating.
for these guys to leave.
And then Michael Theophil says Carlton must be pumped for Kyan Anthony next year at Syracuse, Carmelo's son. So that should be exciting.
Let's go.
For sure. Over 20 years since Carmelo once played for the Orangemen. So let's see what happens. And Michael Buttka saying yes. But yeah, that's really what we have here. But I have to say, a great day today, a great week of shows as well.
Crazy.
And really appreciate everybody
Binge Buddies, don't go
who
anywhere.
tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume, the merch at downtowntv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy Binge Buddies, and we will see you on Sunday.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.